You had to find a different helmet, one that fit you a little bit more
When,
snug.
when you get this many brains, it's hard to
Okay,
try to keep them in the wraps.
All right, all right. Well, you mentioned the quarterback situation, and it is a dicey one for Coach Hopperton of Mount St. Joseph. Their usual starting quarterback, Josh Taylor, has been out for a couple of weeks with a knee injury, and their backup, Tyler Prather, who was our first ever IndianaSRN player of the game in week 1 of conference play against Bluffton. He is also out with a concussion. So lately it's been kind of throwing some guys in there, even some wide receivers, including Jake Ayler as well as Joey Newton, two guys that usually play split out wide for the Lions offense, but also Tyler Humphrey, who's a freshman. It's going to be an interesting quarterback situation for Coach Hopperton, and we'll see how it affects this game. It definitely affected how their offense played last week against Defiance.
You look in the first 3.5 games that Josh Taylor played, he had over 830 passing yards and over 400 rushing yards, was Offensive Player of the Week twice. Prather came in, did a great job. He was the first ever SRN Player of the Week and won that. And he had been playing really well, thrown for almost 700 yards, but then he goes down, and you really got to kind of scrap to see where you're at. And like you said, they ran multiple quarterbacks out there last week in that one point loss to Defiance, is to ensure that, they're going to have this week reps. They were able to get reps in practice, so they're a little bit more comfortable with what they want to do in the quarterback situation as opposed to having to do it on the fly in the middle of a game as they did last week.
We mentioned just a little bit ago how Mount St. Joseph is still towards the top of the Heartland Conference, but after maybe an unexpected loss last week to a previously winless Defiance Yellow Jackets team, that gave them their first loss in conference play. So they're now 3-1, tied for Hanover in that second-place spot behind Rose-Hulman, who is 4-0 in conference play. And Mount St. Joseph actually ends the season with Rose-Hulman, so that could very well be a crucial game looking forward down the rest of the Heartland Conference play. But meanwhile, we have Mount St. Joseph and Anderson. The Ravens come into this one. They are winless. They're 0-7, 0-4 in conference play. Lost last week 17-0 to Franklin at home. And kind of a game that they kept close with Franklin, but a lot of the games that Franklin has played in this season have been much low-scoring games, and this is an offense that really struggles to score, especially when running the football. They rely mostly on putting the ball through the air to come up with their yardage. So in a game like this where the elements may come into play, there's been some light sprinkles, a little bit of a mist with the rain coming down here in Cincinnati. They may have to try to find a way to get that run game established.
202 yards per game total, only 25 of that per game rushing. And they've also had some swapping of quarterbacks, if you will, as well. Tyson Harley from Indiana, Mount Vernon, Indiana, is their quarterback. The last couple of games he's played pretty well. Bluffton, he slung it 59 times, and he threw it 45 times against Franklin. But the week before against Hanover didn't play at all. So, they're really going to try and do what they can. But, the thing about it for Mount St. Joseph is they know who to cover, and that's Zach Talent, who we know set the all-time career reception.
The season and just one score. So they look to go to him a lot, does Harley, the junior quarterback. But not getting in the end zone seems to be the problem for the Ravens, just averaging 10.5 points a game while giving up 43 to their opponents. So definitely it's going to be Talent, a guy to watch out for in the passing game, one of the senior receivers that we will keep an eye on, and Harley surely will try to look to throw the football to him. Back over to Mount St. Joseph. We mentioned the quarterback situation. One of those guys that whoever quarterback is going to be starting this football game, he's going to try to throw it to their senior stud at wide receiver, that being Austin Brock. He has had another tremendous season at the numbers right here.
Nearly 80 yards per game, along a 76, 14.9 yards per catch. He is the go-to guy for them. And, Jake Ayler and Joey Newton are great receivers for them as well, though we may see them under center. So, at least there's some targets there on the offensive side. On the defensive side, they've got a young man who is everywhere, and that is number 15, Anthony Wright.
Anthony Wright leading the defense as only a sophomore. 35 solo tackles on the season, towards the top of Heartland Conference play. Much better offensively is Mount St. Joseph at 28 points a game. They give up 19.5 to their opponents in a much balanced offense. They as well, a pass-heavy, or they lean more towards the passing game with 215 yards a game through the air, but can also balance it out with their running backs that we will see this afternoon, including Ari Turner, a freshman, and Mackenzie Mariano, who is a junior, 142 rushing yards a game.
Yeah, and on the opposite side of the football, Mount St. Joseph leads the league in passing defense, holding opponents to 110.6 yards per game, and that's what Anderson likes to do, so that's going to be quite the matchup once we get on the field. Scoring defense, Mount St. Joseph is second, only giving up 19.4 points per game, and yards per game, they're first in the league as well. So Anderson has their work cut out for him to try and get down into red zone territory to try and score.
And there is the visiting Ravens in all white with the orange helmets on the road in Cincinnati, Ohio, as the Lions of Mount St. Joseph set to take the field here. We will await the national anthem from the marching band of the Lions of the Mount.
One person to watch on Anderson's defense is Sam Fiola. He is from Ridgeville, Indiana, went to Monroe Central. He's their leading tackler. 31 solo, 46 total tackles. He's got 2.5 tackles for loss and 4 passes defended as a linebacker. He's their main guy on defense. He's one to keep an eye on, number 31.
We'll be able to give you the rest of the starting offenses and defenses when we come back from our first break. Kickoff is coming up soon here on IndianaSRN. It's the Heartland Game of the Week.
What's the number one misconception you think about Freemasonry?
Well, I think most people just think of Freemasonry as some kind of secret society, and you go with some of the rumors out there and so on, and they really don't understand who we are. They don't understand that we are a fraternity of brothers first, and our obligation is to take care of each other and our widows and orphans, etc. within our group. They don't understand what the fraternity part of Freemasonry really is, and that's the misconception that's out there. I think first and foremost of anyone that wants to join Freemasonry, I'd like them to know that it's really not a secret society. You may say it's a society with a secret because we have some handshakes and some passwords that you could easily find down in a library if you get the right book. Freemasonry is more, it's a brotherhood, it's a fraternity, it's a way of sharing common thoughts and everything with people of all different vocations that really understand of getting together on the level. Whether you're a judge or a police officer or a janitor, you're all on the same level when you're in a Masonic lodge room. And I think that's one of the greatest things, that you can sit with people of all vocations, but you have that certain thing in common, that you're all brothers.
Welcome back to Mount St. Joseph University. It's the Heartland Game of the Week on IndianaSRN and HCAC.TV. The Lions, 4-3 on the season. Were 3-0 in conference play before that gut-wrenching loss last week, 14-13 at the hands of Defiance. Just 236 yards of total offense, and 67 of those were through the passing game, something that was definitely unexpected. A team that is usually very good through the passing game is the Lions, and they will try to get back to that at home at Schuler Field, taking on the Ravens of Anderson University.
You know, it's difficult when you lose your top two quarterbacks, especially having the second one who's had a few games under his belt in the middle of the game and having to really kind of fly by the seat of your pants on the road. So, you know, that was a tough loss, but they're still in the hunt for the conference title. As we talked about, you know, their last two games after this week, Hanover here and then at Rose-Hulman, they still have a shot if they can win both those games. And, you know, next week we'll see Rose-Hulman at Franklin, and then the final week we'll see the Bell game with Franklin and Hanover. So it's really still anybody's opportunity to win it as long as you can take down the big dog as Rose-Hulman this year.
Rose-Hulman has proven to be the big dog. They're 4-0, the lone undefeated team left in the Heartland Conference. As you see, captains from both sides set to meet at midfield. We'll await the coin toss and see who is going to be receiving the football first. For Mount St. Joseph, Tyler Prather did play last week. We learned from Coach Hopperton he was able to play one or two series to start the game and then got hurt, is in concussion protocol. So he is out for this one. And we did not get a definitive answer on who's going to be their starting quarterback. We know of Tyler Humphrey. He has had some snaps this year as just a freshman, but also two wide receivers could end up playing that position as well, Joey Newton or Jake Ayler. So we will wait and see just what will happen, and it'll be Mount St. Joseph to start things off. So right off the bat, we'll learn who the starting quarterback is going to be for Coach Hopperton, who's in his third year coaching the Mount St. Joseph Lions.
I'm scanning the sidelines to see if I can see if Josh Taylor is dressed again. He's a game-time decision, not to start, but maybe to see a few plays in the second half just to get his feet underneath of him before the two big ending games in the conference. So we'll keep you updated on that as well. But we are ready for some football.
And there's Coach Hopperton in the middle of his kickoff return unit. They are getting set to move from right to left. On the other side for Anderson, Steve Rock is in his fourth year coaching the Ravens. Winless on the year. Dropped their game last week to Franklin 17-0. And their two remaining games to finish out the season, they'll be home at Defiance and then finishing things off on the road at Manchester.
Austin Price, one of the guys deep for Mount St. Joseph, number 5, averaging 29.6 per kickoff return. So don't be surprised if Anderson kicks away from him to, I believe it's Devin Donworth back there with him, one of the free safeties for this Mount St. Joseph squad.
Caleb Oliver wears number 99. He's set to kick things off for Anderson from Marion, Indiana. Also will be in the punting formation for the Ravens.
Pretty good uniform matchup here. The white and black jersey pant combo for Anderson. And the orange helmets in the Mount St. Joseph with the blue jerseys, the white helmet, and white pants.
Kickoff from Oliver, a low line drive is hauled in at the 7. And on the return is Austin Price, who has a decent return, breaking a couple of tackles out to the 44-yard line. Great field position to start for the Lions offense.
That's a great start for the Lions offense, especially with whoever is going to start a quarterback. You're comfortable knowing you're not pinned up against your own goal line. You can do some different things in terms of handing the football off, get a little bit of a roll here, some short passes, get comfortable, and we'll see who they bring in. It looks like it might be Jake Ayler.
That is the case. Jake Ayler, a usual receiver for Mount St. Joseph. We'll start off with the first snap of the ball game, and it's a give to Mariano, who bounces it towards the far sideline, pushed out of bounds, but able to pick up a first down on the very first play into Anderson territory.
Mariano averaging 5.5 yards per carry with 317 on the year. That's a great start as you see the projected starters here on the screen for Mount St. Joseph.
And we were projected to possibly see Humphrey at the quarterback spot, but it will be Jake Ayler. You see number 15 there. Takes the snap. Another give to Mariano, this time up the middle between the hashes. And he's good for 6 yards this time.
Don't be surprised if you see a lot of Mariano because Anderson is 8th in the league in rushing defense, giving up 231.7 yards per game. They're also 6th in passing defense at 217.6 in the league, last in both yards per game and scoring defense.
For Mount St. Joseph, 142 yards average per game. The first 3 plays have been runs, all to Mariano. And it appears on his third run he has another first down. Needed 4, and he got 5.
The defense here coached by Jeremy Lochner, who we talked to before the game. He played and coached at Taylor and was hired the season before the pandemic. He's got his work cut out for him, even without one of the starting quarterbacks here for Mount St. Joseph on the field.
Sticking to this pistol formation is Ayler, and a stretch play give to Mariano. This time, short yardage, just 1 on the carry. And on the tackle for Anderson, Sam Fiola, a sophomore from Ridgeville, Indiana.
One of the DBs came up, Trey Staley, did a good job. They broke contain and was able to bring him down in a short situation here. I'm interested to see what Mount St. Joseph does when they get into a passing down in distance.
This time they do pass it. Ayler will heave it down the field towards the end zone. Maybe a push-off, but a touchdown reception for number 18. That is Chandler Kinhall from 35 yards out. Mount St. Joseph, a quick strike. It took him just 5 plays to get into the end zone.
That was a nice ball from Ayler into Kinhall. And it was just, hey, it's anybody's football. Go up and get it. You see him down the sideline. There's some contact, but both guys are going up for the ball. They bounce off each other. Kinhall hauls it in.
And on the defense was Trey Staley, a junior defensive back, maybe looking for that push-up, but he doesn't get it. Extra point is up and good, and the Lions strike quickly. 7-0 our score. It's the Heartland Game of the Week on HCAC.TV, powered by IndianaSRN.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
Chandler Kinhall on the touchdown reception from 34 yards out. The hometown kid from Cincinnati, Ohio, a junior receiver. And this season, Kinhall hauls in his second touchdown pass.
Nice play. That's the start you want if you're the Lions. Get on the board early and make Anderson try and sling it so you can pin your ears back and rush the passer.
Here's a return from Anderson, and a decent one for them, too. Not as good as Mount St. Joseph, but it will be great starting field position for the Anderson offense as the return man, Zach Talent, takes it out to around the 37-yard line.
First chance to look at Tyson Harley, the 6'3 junior, 261 on his weight, a little bit reminiscent of the hefty lefty, rest in peace, Jared Lorenzen from Kentucky. Almost 1,000 yards on the year, 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Product of Mount Vernon High School is Harley. He'll begin things with a give. The motion man was James Tucker. And towards the Mount St. Joseph sideline, gets across the 40 to the 42.
Put him in motion, put him in the backfield with Harley, hand it off to him. Tucker does have quite a few receptions. He's got 28 receptions for 245 yards on the season as a receiver. But look for number 11. That's the go-to guy, Zach Talent for the Ravens.
Talent became the all-time leading reception getter for Anderson last week. And Harley looking to pass, this time going deep down the field. His man has a step, but he overshoots him. That was Caleb Brown, a freshman receiver, and Harley is definitely going to want to have that one back. Oh, my goodness. He was wide open. He's got 26 catches on the year and 1 touchdown. The young man from Alcovy High School in Decatur, Georgia. He beat the defense, had him beat deep, but couldn't get the ball to him. So now a 3rd down and 5 upcoming for Anderson. Harley has 2 receivers towards his left. Back out of the backfield, nope. It's Brown on a crossing route, has enough for the first down across midfield. And tackled at the 46. Nice pickup there on 3rd down for Anderson. Great job of running the receivers across each other in the field, and the DBs got caught up in the fray there and left him wide open. And now Anderson will go hurry up. They'll swing it out to Tucker in the flat. Flag comes in, our first of the ball game, and it may be a holding on one of the receivers for Anderson. I think that's going to be on Logan Beard, number 16 from Lutheran High School, a 6'1 sophomore. Just got a little bit too much of the jersey. That'll send him back. It was a good play call. They only had 1 DB out here on the line, tried to block him, but the hold will send it back. Anderson had the football at the 46. We'll wait for the official word from the referee, but Anderson already sees that it's going to be coming back. And now they'll go back into their side of the field at their own 46. This is the starting offense for the Ravens of Anderson University. See Zach Talent. He wears number 11. He's quite the talent. He sure is. Oh. 2 receivers, both sides. Here's a run. Caden Robinson, freshman tailback for the Ravens out of Mooresville High School. 103 yards on the season, 2.2 yards per carry. Again, they are last in the league in rushing offense, so Mount St. Joseph wants to focus on the passing game of Anderson. Anderson's trying to catch him off guard by running that draw. Just 2 yards picked up for Robinson. Sets up now a 2nd and 16. Tucker back in the backfield as he's in motion now. They send him out towards that left side. Harley looking to run and nowhere to go. Has to bounce it outside. Will just get back to the line of scrimmage. Tackle on the play there for Mount St. Joseph's number 55, Bo Cunning. Noah Hammond on the pursuit there as well, as you see the probable starting lineup on defense for the Mount. It's a beautiful campus. Love the backdrop of the trees in the background here. Lights are on because it is overcast, as it has been pretty much this whole week. It's been a dreary week in Indiana and Ohio. Most Midwest states. Nice snag on the high snap from, ball's out. Harley is hit, looking to throw, and the fumble is recovered by the Mount St. Joseph defense. Looked like Declan Brophy from Knoxville, Tennessee knocked the ball out. That was a great play by Harley, because if you watch, the snap is high, and he one-hands it OBJ style, gets it, but then the pass rush comes in from behind and slaps it out. Looks like the hit came from number 44, that being Declan Brophy, and didn't quite catch who the fumble recovery goes to, but a turnover, the first of the ball game, and already in Ravens territory is the Lions. This bodes well for them, too, with this quarterback situation. If they can get up 14 early, that's going to play into their hands. They can just run the football on the clock. They start things off with a run. 3 yards picked up for Mariano. Colin McCaffrey, not related to Christian, with the tackle. gone to Mariano 5 times now. He's got 27 yards on the ground. Just the one pass play. Ayler was able to connect with Kinholt on the previous possession for the touchdown score. New quarterback in. It's Joey Newton, a usual receiver, and maybe a little wildcat action as Newton gets things to the 40, close to a first down.
Little change of pace there from Mount St. Joseph as they bring Newton in and allow him to run. Ayler may not be a running type quarterback, but the RPO option from Newton is going to try and keep Anderson on their toes.
Bunched up formation for the Mount. They have a tight end and a wing to the left. They go that way with the give to Mariano and setting the edge. Nice tackle made there for Anderson's number 8, Caden McLean, freshman from Pendleton Heights High School.
The Hoosier Heritage Conference product, as they had quite a few teams last night move on in high school sectional action. Mount Vernon, New Palestine.
McLean second on the team in tackles with 40. Sam Fiola leads them in that group with 46.
Their linebackers make a ton of tackles, and you know what you don't want is to see your defensive backs make a ton of tackles, because that means they're getting to the next level offensively.
Ayler is back in the pistol. Another give. Sticking to this run game, and it has been working so far. New tailback in this time for the Mount, that being Shavonte McGriff. He wears number 37 from Dayton.
McLean was there on the tackle, and so was Ison Moss. And, boy, the running back looked like he put the lick on McLean more than the reverse.
Again, back to McGriff, this time going towards that right side. And again, the tackle made by McLean. But it's enough for a first down. 6 yards picked up there from McGriff.
McGriff reminds me a lot of Tyshawn Freeman from Defiance. Low center of gravity, got big thighs, and get those legs moving and can put a pounding on you.
Just a bowling ball of a back. And McLean still able to bring him down. A tough linebacker for Anderson. New set of downs for Mount St. Joseph. They're at the 27.
Ayler and Mariano back in.
Mariano subs back in. Flag comes flying. In fact, 2 of them for good measure. And this hold's going to be called. It appears on the tight end, Gary Powell, trying to set that edge on the left side.
Gary Powell III from Hammersville, Ohio, Western Brown High School.
Hammersville. That's a good town.
It's Hammersville or Hamersville. There's only one M, but I'm going to go with Hammersville because
it's still cool for tight ends.
Yeah, Atlanta Braves in the World Series, so Hammer and Hank Aaron.
Yes, sir. Holding call does come in. That'll set Mount St. Joseph backwards. First penalty of any sort called against the Lions.
So I love the way that Coach Hopperton, with the quarterback-running back combo, kind of changed it up. Had Newton in with the different running back, and now Ayler and Mariano are both back in the backfield for the Lions.
Newton and Ayler coming into this one only combined for 5 pass attempts as flags come flying in at the snap. Pass is caught for Mount St. Joseph. Far sideline and close to a first down. We'll check on the penalty as Cam York gets the catch.
Now, false start, well, they'd stop the play, correct?
So maybe somebody offsides for Anderson or an illegal formation.
See what the call is here.
It is indeed
it is a false start.
Illegal formation against Mount St. Joseph. So back-to-back penalties now.
The last thing you want to do is get that turnover and then not do anything with it. You have to pounce, if you will, as a Lion, and take advantage of the mistakes that Anderson makes.
So it's still first down, but it's 25 yards to go. The line to gain is at the 17-yard line. Back taking snaps is Newton from the 42. Fakes the give, keeps it himself. Starts inside, now outside the right hash. A couple of shimmies and shakes, and Newton is able to pick up around 10 yards on that keeper.
Caden Sotelo in on the tackle. He's from Eastern Hancock? That sounds familiar.
It does. It kind of does.
For those of you that wouldn't know, that is where Jarrett Lewis graduated from.
It is. great Charlottesville, Indiana. Sotelo is quite the player, tremendous on defense, and even played some offense at Eastern Hancock.
Well, he's a freshman and starting for them, so that says a lot as the sack there.
Sack on the play for the Ravens. Number 97, Ross Watson. He's from Wabash, sophomore at 6'2", 270.
That's his first sack on the season. Had a half a tackle for loss, but that's his first sack of the quarterback, and now it's 3rd and to Indiana, I believe, for the first down for the Lions.
They'll call it 18 yards. Another Eastern Hancock product on that front line is Gabe Lawler. He's right next to the man who made that sack in Watson. Right over the guards are 97 and 57.
Ayler back in at quarterback.
And looking to pass, going back to this same spot where they scored, coming back for the football and forcing the penalty. Going to be called against Anderson, and that was Sotelo.
Trying to get it to Austin Brock, and that's a situation where the underthrown football is to your advantage, because as the receiver tries to go back for the football, the defensive back hasn't got their head turned around, runs into him, and that's an interference call every time.
And it's such a tough, awkward spot to be in as that DB, because it's an underthrown ball. You're just, you don't know that. Wide receiver comes back, not much you can do. When he's coming back for that football, he's going to try to come into you and force that penalty.
One of the things you try and teach as a defensive coach is look for their eyes and their hands. If their eyes get big and their hands go up, that means the ball's coming near to them, and to try and turn your head around. But still, that's why they say they're out on an island, because you get beat, it's on you because it's one-on-one coverage.
So with that penalty, it gives a first down to Mount St. Joseph. They were back at the 42-yard line and now see themselves up towards the 21. Send a man in motion, and Newton will keep it himself, going up the middle. And a decent pickup on first down of 8 yards. And Sotelo, after the penalty, redeems himself with a tackle.
Great job there on that play of sending Turner in motion, and just the shoulder turn of the possible screen out there gave an opening for Newton to run through right at the gut, and short and second down here is exactly what you want if you're the Lions.
Now Ayler has switched back in at quarterback. Back to their usual run man, that being Mariano, and a short pickup, but it will be enough for a first down. Another tackle for McLean. He has been busy, and the defense has been out on the field for most of this first quarter.
And that's really where you start to break down and defensively in terms of stopping the run. If you get tired, they're going to blow off the offensive line and just push you back, and you're going to get big chunks of yardage in a run game when a defense is tired.
Looks like it's every other play between Newton and Ayler. Direct give, Mariano the lead block. And again, it's a tackle by McLean. Newton getting closer to that end zone again for Mount St. Joseph.
McLean is all over the field. Again, freshman, 5'11", 200 pounds from Pendleton Heights, Indiana. This young man can play.
23 solo tackles, 17 assists coming into this one. He already has at least 5 or 6, I would think.
The way he's going, he might double those totals in just this game.
From the 6-yard line. Second down and goal to go. Newton on the keeper. And he stood up after reaching maybe the 3-yard line.
Looked like a bit of confusion with him and Mariano, and then he did a little stutter step once he got between the tackles there. It's going to be third down and goal here, short. You might see a rollout here.
They do bring Ayler back in at the quarterback position, as you see previous play from Newton, who split out to the far right side. Ayler fakes the run, throws it to Newton on the slant, and it's broken up. Ball thrown maybe a touch behind Newton. And also Javante Malone, a freshman, was there to deflect that pass.
He was open. He had a great slant route in the inside, but nice play by the defensive back there. It looked like it might have, hard to tell from here if it was a push or he knocked the ball away, but field goal try for Farfsing.
Kyle Farfsing, the junior kicker. Just a 20-yard field goal attempt, and it's up, and it is no good. Wide to the left, Farsing misses from 20, and a long drive from Mount St. Joseph. They come up empty. Anderson will take over now from the 10.
That's a huge win for Anderson after the turnover to come down and not give up any points on the missed field goal, especially when you got first and goal from around the 7-yard line. If you're Mount St. Joseph, that's Farsing's first miss from 20 to 29 yards. He was 3 of 3 on the season up until that attempt.
And with the missed field goal, they'll actually move the football up to the 20 since it was a 20-yard attempt. So Anderson now has 80 yards to go on this drive. They had the fumble previously after Harley was hit looking to throw the football. Now he's looking to pass again. Middle of the field, going back to Brown. Tips it to himself. What a catch by Caleb Brown, the freshman. Got to take another look at this one as Brown uses his right hand to tip it to himself and get the catch.
Mason Owens with good coverage there, but he just kind of stuck his paw out and tipped it up to himself there. Second down play, short run. It'll be a second down and about 8.
And Ravens go hurry up after that play. There's no replay in college to go look at. So maybe just hurrying up, trying to find a tempo after the catch.
Yeah. Catch Mount St. Joseph off guard.
It was just 2 yards for Robinson. Now second down and 8. He faked it to Robinson. Tucker out in the flat. Great open field tackle made for Mount St. Joseph's Noah Abel, the senior from Cincinnati, another hometown kid for Mount St. Joseph.
Boy, that is a great tackle coming downhill on the receiver and getting not much, if anything. It's going to be third down and 6 for the Ravens.
Tucker second on the team in receptions. He picks up his first one of the ball game, 28 coming into this one. So now third down and 6. Setting up the screen, read perfectly by the Lions defense, trying to get it to Robinson after the fake, and nothing doing this time. It'll be another punt upcoming for Anderson.
Foundos, the tight end, motioned to the right, try to get heavy coverage over here on the left with 3 receivers, but like you said, Mount St. Joseph read that perfectly, and Harley had nowhere to go with the football.
The kickoff man, Caleb Oliver, does anything kicking related for Anderson. Former soccer player for the Ravens. Gets off a nice punt here that'll roll inside the 20 and down at the 19-yard line. Great punt from Caleb Oliver, a senior.
It's one thing the coach talked to us about. He's a good kicker. He kind of does a modified rugby style. He doesn't run with it very much, but he does kind of kick it to the side. Coach said, though, but being a soccer player, he's not fond of the rush coming at him, which I can't blame you if you played soccer your whole life and all of a sudden you've got these pads on. You're like, what is going on?
Oliver, he's no usual punter size. He's pretty tall. He's at 6'2" and well over 220, 230. So now Mount St. Joseph out for the third time. Failed to convert on the field goal from Farsing. Ayler starts things off with a give to Mariano. Gets to the 30-yard line after being brought down by Demarion Walker.
For another freshman starting for Anderson from Muncie Central. They've got quite a few. They've got 3 defensive backs that are freshmen that start for them. They're linebackers, 1 freshman, 2 sophomores. And then 2 sophomores and 2. They don't have a single senior in the starting lineup on the defensive side for the Ravens.
3 receivers towards the right. Over the middle of the field. Pass is dropped off the hands of Brock. And maybe a small window to try to fit that pass in from Ayler.
I'm surprised to see them throw it on second down, which means you're putting yourself behind the 8 ball and having to pass probably again here on third down. Brock is off the field for this play. That's surprising as well, too.
So 3rd down and 5 from their own 30-yard line. They bring Newton in. Anderson might be thinking run here, as every time Newton's been in, it has been a run. Indeed, that is the case, and maybe the momentum is going to give Newton a 1st down. He was hit originally around the 33-34, but he needed the 35-yard line, and he got it.
Newton has run that quarterback draw play quite a bit. Anderson's got to be prepared for that as Ayler's back in the quarterback spot for the Lions.
Powell coming from the right side. Kick out block. So now here's Ayler again. Just has the one completion on the touchdown to Kinhult. But running the football yet again, Mariano being the workhorse, 5 yards a carry. That'll do if you're a Mount St. Joseph fan.
He got right at 5.5, which is his average on the season. You'll take that every day of the week and twice on Sunday, because that'll move the sticks.
Running the football this season, Mariano has the most attempts. He has 9 already, which gives him 98 on the season. They fake it to him. Going to the left again, jump ball, and making the catch for Mount St. Joseph is number 11. That's Chase Samples, and I think Samples just said, "You got mossed."
Yes, he did. He went great coverage by Trey Staley, the junior from Fort Wayne, but he went up over him and got it.
Every throw that Ayler's made has seemed to be to his left and deep down the field. Samples just goes right over the top of the defender. That was Trey Staley, and Mount St. Joseph threatening to score again. They have the lead, up 7-0 after 1 quarter of play. It's the Heartland Game of the Week on HCAC.TV, powered by IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back at Mount St. Joseph University for the Heartland Game of the Week, the 5th edition on IndianaSRN, alongside Sean Kroll, Jarrett Lewis. A highlight reel play for number 11, Chase Samples. He's a senior from LaGrange, Kentucky. Good for 30 yards. And that'll be something to talk about for the next couple of hours, and even after this football game. Samples showing off and getting that reception for his man, Jake Ayler.
You know, they always talk about who wants it more, and that's not a case. We're not knocking on Trey Staley at all. But the size of the young man for Mount St. Joseph really played a part in that, as Walker's 5'10".
And Samples is at 6'3". Ayler rolling out. Started left, brings it back right, will tuck it and run. Gets to the 20-yard line, or maybe just short. In fact, he does get to the 20, and that is 10 yards, enough for a first.
Nice ad lib there by Ayler. Tried to roll left, nothing going on. Great coverage. Came back around to the right. It was able to get around the end, and Fiola is the one who knocked him out of bounds, but a huge gain there for first down.
Ayler shows off his legs and now has Mount St. Joseph inside the red zone. Newton will keep it himself. And not much doing there, as fakes the give to Mariano and sees him as a lead back. Tackle made by Anderson Samfiola. He's their leading tackler.
It appears when Newton comes in, they run the straight RPO, and he's either going to give it to the back in Mariano. He's going to keep it himself, and most often he's kept it himself and run right up the gut.
And quite possibly, as this game goes on, could very well see Newton put the ball through the air. But the run game is working so far for Mount St. Joseph, and again, Mariano gets another touch just for 2 yards.
You know, a lot of times people watch these games and they're like, they're running the football, but they're not gaining many yards. Yes, however, what they're trying to do is they're playing 3-4 steps ahead, trying to set up the play where the play action comes into play, if I can say play any more times. And you've got an open receiver downfield because they're crashing in on the line to stop the run, which is all you've done. Hit him with the big play, score a touchdown.
Mariano already with 10 carries. As Ayler rolls out to his left again and brings it back right, tries to throw it over, and he does! A touchdown! Second touchdown pass for Jake Ayler. This time he finds Hayden Bell, the sophomore, and that makes it 13-0.
Hayden Bell's first touchdown catch on the year, only his 7th catch, period, from Thompson Station High School in Summit, Tennessee.
16 yards. Ayler threw it from the 25. And just over the outstretched arms of Caden McClain. A well-thrown ball by Ayler. He's got 2 touchdown passes.
See if Farsing can make this point after.
And he does. Extra point is good. Farsing is 2 for 2. And it's now a 14-0 lead for Mount St. Joseph over the Ravens of Anderson University. It's the Heartland Game of the Week on HCAC.TV, powered by IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Welcome back to Mount St. Joseph University. This kickoff upcoming from Farsing, who just drilled in the PAT. 3 for 5 now is Jake Ayler. His pass completions have gone for 34, 30, and 16. This is Jose Olivo on the return, and he gets out to the 21-yard line. Speaking of Eastern Hancock, Olivo from Knightstown High School, little rivalry there. But got a chance to talk to Jose before the game, catch up a little bit.
I hear do we have a third man?
I guess. I mean, after all these weeks, I guess we got to keep him around, right?
We do, yeah.
It's Keith Myers. We're going to send it over to him. What do you got to say to the people at home?
I just want to say, it's about time my mic works, and thank you very much. The weather here is messing up with everything. Good job. I will tell you this. It is wet on the field. Back to you.
You can't get any better analysis than that.
Nope. He's the best in the business. A pitch out using 2 hands is Harley. And a 2-yard pickup for the running back being Caden Robinson. All 3 of Robinson's carries, the freshman, have gone for just 2 yards apiece.
That was an interesting look, for sure. It was almost kind of a half pitch, half pass.
And to the short side of the field.
Yeah.
And still on the left hash is Anderson. They're at the 23. Harley on the slant.
Ooh.
Just out of the reach of Tucker, who, as the pass came in, looks like Tucker was expecting to take a big hit. But it's an incompletion, and now 3rd down and long.
He was, because it looked like Noah Derman, if I'm reading it right, the number, he was coming downhill quick. His lucky didn't pick it off. No, Nick Stevenson, I apologize. Nick Stevenson from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Another passing down for Anderson. Harley over the middle of the field. Pass is tipped, but still caught by Zach Talent. That's his first reception. We've talked about him a couple of times, but finally getting into the box score is number 11. Last week, breaking the Andersons' career reception record in their game against Franklin College.
Nice job there by Harley, putting the ball where only talent can get it down low. We can body block the receiver out.
Robinson stacked up, loss of 3 on the play, and plenty of Lions defenders there to talk about on the stop.
Brady Buller from Cincinnati, Ohio, Elder High School. He was one of the ones there. Nowhere for Robinson to go.
Real quick, going back to talent, his career total mark is now 223. The previous record was 217, set by Hyman Smith back in 2006. 4 years of play for talent and over 220 receptions. They go to Tucker on the wide receiver screen, and they pick up those 3 yards that they lost on the previous play. So another 3rd down and long upcoming for Anderson.
They had it read pretty well, but Harley was able to get the ball up over the defenders and get it to Tucker, who took a lick on the play as well, but it's still 3rd and long for the Ravens.
Second catch made by Tucker, senior receiver from Franklin County.
Eric Lance is the offensive coordinator for Anderson. This is his first season as the offensive coordinator, came over from Rose-Hulman.
Harley, 3-step drop. Now moves towards his right, has a man open. It's Caleb Brown, who is left alone and toe taps his way at the 46. Plenty enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, he got lost. Abel was kind of back with the deep receiver of Tucker, and he just kind of went to the empty space, sat there, and easy pass with nobody around him.
Longest pass completion so far for Harley. It goes for 15 yards, and Brown, check that, that's the second longest because Brown has one for 20. He's got 45 yards total receiving on his 3 catches. Back to the ground game. This time Harley keeps it on the read option and is able to pick up 3.
Yeah, he wanted to give it to Robinson, but Jonathan Finn did a great job reading that play and was right with Robinson, so Harley did the smart thing and kept it, got some positive yardage, or else they would have had a loss on the play.
Right around midfield is Anderson as they check the wristbands for this next play. Talent to the bottom of your screen, and Tucker in the slot. A reverse. Tucker trying to get around one man. Gave a stiff arm to Declan Brophy of Mount St. Joseph and picks up a short gain.
Well, Nick Stevenson had it read well, but apparently not well enough because Robinson was able just to get it off before he took a lick from Nick Stevenson on the defensive side of the football, the linebacker, again, from where else? Cincinnati, Ohio.
A lot of Cincinnati kids for the Lions. And a defense that has been in some close games, some few low-scoring games, only giving up 19 points a game. Right now, keeping that 0 on the scoreboard for Anderson. 3 receivers to the left on 3rd down and 5. Quick hitter to Tucker, and immediately making the tackle and standing him up 1 yard short of the 1st down. Maybe a little bit of talking after the play as well, but standing him up that time appeared to be Nick Stevenson.
And they played quite a few DBs. Deshaun Starks is on the field and Austin Price on that side of the field. But they did a quick hitter, but it's close, 4th and 1. You have to go for this, I think, if you're Anderson.
Now 3 catches early on for Tucker. He also has 2 touches on sweep plays. So a playmaker is Tucker. Him and Talent, both senior receivers. 4th down and 1 for Anderson. Robinson to the left of Harley.
Watch Harley keeping it here. Well.
And no play is going to be run. Maybe just trying to go with the hard count, but a timeout called by Anderson. We'll see what they do when we come back from this timeout. It's 4th and 1 from the 45. Heartland Game of the Week on HCAC.TV, powered by IndianaSRN. Anderson timeout. They're back out on the field, and the offense is out there at the 45, set to go for it on 4th and less than a yard. 4 down linemen for the Lions. Harley rolls out to his right. Nowhere to go, has to keep it, throws it up in the air for grabs. No one was looking for it, but it's a 4th down stop for the Mounts defense. A coverage sack pretty much for Mount St. Joseph.
They're in the play where they bring the man in motion, who was Tucker. They bring him towards this side of the ball, then run him in, and just trying to do a little bit of a rub route right there, but great coverage by Mount St. Joseph and nowhere for Harley to go, so he just kind of slings it, but turnover on downs.
Harley, a nice job of just getting rid of it and giving his man a chance, although no one looking for it. But great coverage on the play by the secondary of the Lions defense. They'll start things off with a run up the middle, only be good for 1 yard. That carry going to 31, Mackenzie Mariano. That's his 11th carry of this ballgame.
McClin and McCaffrey on the tackle again. The linebackers playing a huge part. They've done a really good job standing up to the run. It's the passing plays that have caught Anderson off guard and gotten the 2 scores.
Ayler is just 3 of 5, but we mentioned earlier those 3 completions have gone for 16 yards or more. Looking to pass again this time, feels the heat, steps up into the pocket, makes a juke move across the 40. Jake Ayler into Anderson territory to the 36-yard line.
Great decision there by Ayler. Felt the rush coming from behind, tucked the ball, ran, made a juke move, got the first down. You can see he's going to sense the pass rush and then just zips right through the center of the field. The little miss there. Maybe a little rub route from the official.
Trying to get a quick pass play off. Ayler is forced out and stumbles down. Able to come away with 2 yards.
Interesting, Ayler's ran it the last 2 times at quarterback when Newton is normally the quarterback who's in the game when the quarterback runs the football.
Ayler has been able to show off his legs just like Newton. 3 carries, 40 yards rushing. Newton has had more carries but less yardage. Those two have combined for 73 on the ground. Back to the air. Sliding catch made by number 18, Chandler Kinhalt. He caught the first pass completion that went for a touchdown from Ayler, and he has the Lions inside the red zone.
That's a really good ball from Ayler on the run, rolling out to his right. Puts it where only his guy can get it, right at the sideline. That's a beautiful throw.
And with that completion, Ayler now has reached the century mark in passing yards. 20 yards between him and Kinhalt. Mariano on his 12th carry. 2 yards this time.
The way Ayler's playing, I think they can save Taylor for next week for Rose Holman. Let him get more healthy.
And Coach Hopperton told us how close Taylor was, and he expects him to be able to come back and play in a pivotal game upcoming for Mount St. Joseph. They're going to be here against Hanover and then finish out the season at Rose Holman. To the air. Touchdown pass number 3, and again it's Chandler Kinhalt. They go back shoulder. It's 15 yards and another touchdown for Kinhalt. Him and Ayler are working on all cylinders.
You know, it's a great job here by Ayler. One of the things, as a receiver, he knows where the receiver wants the ball, and he just puts it right there, and Kinhalt snags it. Tough coverage there by Damarian Walker, but again, it's hard to get your head around in that short of a distance of field when the end zone's behind you. So it's another touchdown, and it's 21-0.
Good extra point. That is the score. The Lions add on to their lead. It's a 3-score ball game in the Heartland Game of the Week on HCAC.TV, powered by IndianaSRN.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
This broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the HCAC is prohibited.
Now 5 of 7 is Jake Ayler, and 3 of those 5 completions have gone for touchdowns. 2 to Chandler Kinhall. He has 3 catches for 68 yards.
If you want more information, follow HCAC DIII. That's HCAC D3. Somebody got their mouthpiece knocked out down there. For all the information, including volleyball coming up, which we'll have on HCAC TV, and all the wonderful news of this conference.
Yep, semifinals and finals of the Heartland Volleyball Tournament coming up next week. Exciting time for this conference. Before we see the Anderson offense, another look at this throw from Ayler to Kinhall. Again, another well-placed ball by Ayler, who is, like we've said earlier, normally a receiver. And with the injuries to Taylor and Prather having to step in and fulfill those duties, pass incomplete. Number 3 versus number 3. The number 3 from Mount St. Joseph getting the better end of that one, Deshaun Starks.
A couple of score updates. Hanover College up on Manchester 13-0. Franklin down 7-3 to Defiance with 5:13 to go in the first quarter.
Every Saturday, 4 Heartland games being played all at the same time. We're here for Anderson and Mount St. Joseph. Right now the Ravens trying to get something going here before the end of this first half. Harley flushed out. Coming back for the football is Talent. Making a move inside the 30. Shakes 2 defenders. Has one guy to beat. Gives him a stiff arm, and he's pushed out of bounds around the 7 or 8 yard line. It's a huge pickup for the Ravens offense, and maybe the spark they needed.
Well, you can see again, the ball is short, and that allows Talent. Great job by him. If you saw it, he ran a different route, and then when the quarterback was under pressure, he cut loose and defeated Deshaun Starks there on the play, coming back to the football, and Anderson has something cooking now.
Looks to be a 60-yard pickup for Zach Talent, just his second reception. And trying to score here is Harley and the Ravens offense. He's inside the 5 to the 3 yard line. So 6 yards for Tyson Harley, trying to punch it in for the first time.
As a quarterback, you love it when your receivers give you more options. When that play broke down, Talent cut back towards the end zone and started to run a post route. Harley saw him, threw it up, was able to get it.
4.5 minutes left to go in this one.
You got to get 7 here if you're Anderson.
They're at the 3. They'll give it to Robinson, and cutting him from underneath on the tackle is Nate Owens. Looks like he limits him to just 1 yard.
You got 2 shots to get it 2 yards. Let's see what they do here.
They'll have a tight end. No, they won't. They'll have 4 receivers split out, 2 on each side.
Watch Talent in the corner.
And Tucker's the man in motion. They go towards that right side. Pretty similar play to the 4th down play that they ran at 4th and 1, and this pass is going to fall incomplete. So now it's the same situation that you had. You're just closer to the end zone. You have 4th down and 2. And obviously you're going to keep your offense out there, but what kind of play are you drawing up here?
Well, I know it was a good job by Harley there because Robinson was in that area. He was able to get rid of it and not lose the yardage from where he was at that point from the pass rush. So I would almost, if it was me, I'd spread him out and run a quarterback draw, see if you can get in with the big boy.
Harley is indeed a large body to bring down at 6'3", 260. They have Tucker back there with him. They pitch it out to Tucker, trying to get the edge. He does. Scoring the touchdown is James Tucker on the two-handed pitch from Tyson Harley.
Looked like he might have been the second option there, as Harley looked as if he was going to try and stick it in himself, but once the defense shot the gaps there, he pitched it out to his receiver.
Tucker, you can see, is waiting, trying to keep that right distance if there is a pitch. And trying to cut him off before he got to the end zone was Nate Owens, who's had a great game defensively, but Tucker does get the corner.
Great block by the wide receiver, gave him the space he needed to get in the end zone.
Some early movement before the kick gets off from Oliver, and that'll make it 5 yards longer for this PAT. It's been a mostly clean game penalty-wise.
It has been.
We saw some penalties early on, a couple holdings and false starts, but this second quarter has been mostly penalty-friendly.
Just the interference calls on those short passes.
So now, PAT from the 15. The snap is bobbled, and nothing you can do that time. Talent is the holder. And that kick is going to be no good. They don't get the kick off. That leaves the score at 21-6. The Ravens do punch it into the end zone for the first time. 3:26 left to play in the Heartland Game of the Week on HCAC.TV. (21-6) our score in the 5th edition of the Heartland Game of the Week on IndianaSRN and HCAC.TV. We thank you so much for tuning in. Alongside Sean Kroll, Jarrett Lewis here. The coach, Keith Myers, has some halftime guests coming up for you, so make sure you stick around for that. In Cincinnati, Ohio, this afternoon on the eve of Halloween. Hey, Sean, you got any Halloween plans this weekend?
Yeah, I'm dressing up as a parent handing out candy. How about you?
I like it. Oh, I don't even know. I don't know what to tell you. It's going to be a last minute thing, last second thing.
Is it different on being in college as it is in high school? When you're trying to celebrate Halloween?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a different happenings going on in college for Halloween. You know, don't want to get into it too much, but there is some costume wearing.
Oh, well, I would hope
Probably
so.
a little bit more than high school, to be honest.
Dare I say that is true, yes.
Something about college kids and Halloween.
They get really creative.
I guess it's something we're celebrating, but making some moves and picking up 8 yards. This is Jake Ayler. Ayler rushing the football, 4 carries for 48. And Mount St. Joseph, plenty of time, 3 timeouts as well. And clock has now hit 3 minutes.
They can still get down and get in the end zone here.
Rolling out to his right, pass is complete. And he bounces off a couple would-be tacklers to the 48-yard line. That's number 8, Caden Pollard, for the first time.
3 timeouts left for Mount St. Joseph, so they can take their time. 2 left for Anderson.
Back to the run game. Again, plenty of time as this is 4 yards on the pickup. You have an open playbook if you're Mount St. Joseph in 3 timeouts.
Especially with the success Harley's had, Ayler has had passing the football. That does give them a lot more options and gives them a chance to get down the field here pretty quick, and they're already in Anderson territory.
That they are at the 48. Ayler wanted to go all the way. Tucks it this time, and he's hit from behind. The ball is out, and it's recovered by Anderson. The recovery goes to number 97. That's Ross Watson. We've called his name a couple times before. He gets the fumble recovery. We'll try to see who exactly knocked it out for the Ravens.
Boy, he had Austin Brock open. He just hesitated and didn't get it out there. Wasn't sure if he'd get out there, and then the strip sack.
45 is the number. That's Jawan Coney. He's a sophomore from Hammond, Indiana. And he just came in from behind and punched it with the right arm.
Now Anderson's back in business, and they can make this close heading into the break.
Trying to make it a one-score game, and now coming from behind this time is Mount St. Joseph. Sacked for the Lions, number 91, Brady Buhler.
The sophomore from Cincinnati, Elder, with the sack, and that is exactly what you did not want to happen if you're Anderson. You want positive yardage on that first play after getting the big turnover.
It's a loss of 6.
And they're letting the clock run.
And not in any sort of hurry. They do have 2 timeouts, does Anderson. And Harley, for the moment, doesn't like what he sees as more seconds tick off the clock. They bring Tucker from left to right. Setting up the screen. This time it works with Robinson. He's got blockers out in front. Brings it back inside the hashes. And a decent pickup after the loss as they get it to the 38.
Great chip by the lineman or receiver there for Anderson because he had somebody coming downhill to blow that up. They chipped him. I think it was Finn coming in just in time to allow Robinson to get positive yardage on that play.
And this time Anderson does call a timeout. 3rd and 5 upcoming for the Ravens. And they're at the Mount St. Joseph 38-yard line. Timeout on the field.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Anderson uses its second timeout. They have 47.6 seconds left. Harley towards his right, trying to hook up with Brown. But the pass goes wide.
Boy, that's a great thing he threw that on the outside of Brown, because if that's on his inside shoulder, we're heading the other direction for a house call.
Harley's numbers right now, 10 of 16 for 128. And half of those yardage came from Zach Talent on that 62-yard catch and run. Right now, 4th down for Anderson. Trying to extend this drive, possibly put more points up on the board before the half. Harley flushed out, moving towards his right, nearly intercepted. It's deflected by Mount St. Joseph. That was Andrew Pierce on the deflection.
That pass rush just flushed Harley out to the right side, and great coverage downfield by the defensive backs. Harley had nowhere to go, and he got planted. You see that flushes him out to the right, but great coverage by the DBs, especially coming across the middle, and he got popped. He's lucky that wasn't good. That's 2 in a row he's lucky he wasn't going the other way for a pick 6.
Trying to connect with Zach Talent, although he was double-teamed on that play. Turnover on downs. Mount St. Joseph, what will they do here with this final 37. They'll start with a run to Mariano, and Lions may be content with just running out the rest of this clock and going to the locker room. And that appears to be the case. In no hurry at all. The rest of this 16 seconds will wind down, and the Lions will head to the locker room up 21-6, trying to bounce back from that loss last week against Defiance and keep themselves at the top of the HCAC.
Pretty good offensive showing, with the exception of that last drive where, Ayler kind of held on to the ball a little bit too long and had Brock open and got the turnover, but they were able to hold. Just the one big play by Anderson was able to get them down into territory where they could stick it into the end zone on a fourth down play. But you got to be excited if you're Coach Hopperton. You've played well offensively in the first half. You've played well defensively in the first half. Just really one minor mistake. But if you're Anderson, you also understand that, we can make plays against this team. We just need to make more of them to give ourselves a chance to get back in it.
15 first downs picked up in that first half for the Lions and just 5 for Anderson. And a team that is usually pretty balanced, well, that's the case this time as well. 135 yards on the ground and 126 through the air. Offense, you got to be happy if you're Coach Hopperton.
I think you have to be ecstatic. It seems like they've gotten a pretty good feel for the two quarterback system between Ayler and Newton. I think we may see a little bit more of Ayler in the second half, but you can't complain at all. Mariano's been great as well on the ground, just churning out yards and helping to move the sticks and get down to where you can throw some touchdown passes.
And maybe the biggest difference, the biggest eye popper looking at these team stats, is 135 yards on the ground for Mount St. Joseph and just 14 for Anderson. That is a difference of, 121, just 1.3 yards a carry. They have thrown the ball just a little bit more, has Anderson. But maybe, like we said, one of the keys to that game that we mentioned during the pregame is try to establish that run, keep your balance keep your offense as balanced as you possibly can.
But that's par for the course for Anderson. They're only averaging 25 yards a game rushing offensively, so that's not really too much of a surprise on that end. They've thrown the ball pretty well. The exception being that one, for Mount St. Joseph, on Mount St. Joseph's part, is that big play to Talent where, Harley got flushed out to the left. Talent adjusted his route, went deep, and they were able to hook up on that ball that was kind of behind him a little bit.
It's halftime here at Mount St. Joseph. The Lions lead things 21-6 in the Heartland Game of the Week on HCAC.TV, powered by IndianaSRN.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
So I stopped in at Chick-fil-A for lunch and saw Officer Wilson come in. I decided to place a dine-in mobile order and have a cookie delivered to him just to show appreciation for his service for our community.
A few minutes later, I noticed that Officer Wilson had gotten up and left, and I knew he hadn't gotten his cookie yet.
And I'm headed to my car. I turn around and I see Allie, and she's running after me.
Mr. Police Officer, Mr. Police Officer.
Usually when someone yells, officer, officer, they want to ask me about a ticket they got. I absolutely wanted the cookie. This cookie is delicious.
Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. You know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year, all sorts of sports. Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN. It is the halftime show on the HCAC.TV network, powered by IndianaSRN. 21-6, Mount St. Joseph in the lead over Anderson. I'm Keith Myers, and with us now is the CFO of Mount St. Joseph, Jeff Briggs. Jeff, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me. It's great to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about this lovely weather that we're having in Ohio and Indiana the last 3 weeks, and 2 weeks. Nothing but rain here.
Yep, we get a lot of rain this time of year, although there were some sunny days in the past couple weeks. But the rain's holding off today, so the game looks pretty good.
And athletically, the sun is shining very well because your fall programs have developed to be very, very successful.
Yes, we've got some great things going. Our football team's rolling today again, and our women won the HCAC championship earlier this week on Wednesday with a win.
Talk a little bit about the facilities. I know you have a couple of new buildings on the campus, but you have a state-of-the-art athletic facility that is very, very nice that we fell in love when we came in this summer.
Well, thank you. I'd love to hear that. We opened in February our Centennial Field House. It is on the west side of our campus, and it has the region's only 200-meter indoor track. Well, it's a region's only indoor track at a collegiate level. It's a 200-meter track. And attached to that building is also a new $7,000 square foot workout facility for all of our students.
What I like is the wiffle ball field inside, and the track and field is just state-of-the-art. And anytime you want us to do track and field, you just let us know. That's a beautiful facility.
Thank you. It was a lot of hard work. We were really excited to get it debuted this year. We did new things in that building with branding, which really are going to set the tone. Mm-hmm. We've got about a 50-foot lion head, which is our logo on the west wall of that building when you walk in, so it's a great visual. We're getting a lot of positive comments from students and recruits out of that building. I'm lucky enough, I use it about 3 days a week to work out, and it's just a really nice, great place.
Well, now, see, you blew the interview when you said workout. I work out at the supper table, Coach. That's all I do. Talk a little bit about overall the morale and how things are back and bouncing back from a dismal year last year. A lot of excitement, especially in the stands today, a lot of excitement because now we get to play football again. We could watch football.
Yeah, we are so lucky to have our athletes back on the field and back on the court this year, and the crowds are showing up and people are being safe. It's a great environment, lots of excitement. Our volleyball team is cruising. We're second right now in the league, and there's a ton of support for that team. It's really been a great thing to be able to be back on campus and back with our community.
And when we came in today, there was a lot of people just on the field, a lot of recruits. So I know that there's a lot of kids looking at that. I think that IndianaSRN may be helping that with now the coverage on the conference network. A lot of kids now understand where these schools are.
Yeah, I think that's very important for us. Obviously, we're right in Cincinnati, but we're still, we're D3 just like all the rest of the HCAC schools, and any coverage we can get is great. And, recruiting is the lifeblood of the school, not just athletics.
We appreciate you spending some time with us. We got a lot of people to talk with through halftime, but thank you so much. We'll come back and we'll talk to you again.
Great. Thank you.
We'll take a break. When we come back, a lot more in store for you. It's halftime at the game of the week.
Every person has a story waiting to be told. Mr. Jack comes in every Monday.
Yeah, that's right.
One day I noticed his hat said he was a Korean War veteran. I asked him if he'd ever been to the Korean War Memorial.
No, I never had a chance to go.
That was the day I knew we had to do whatever it took to get him there.
Manny made it happen. I got to go to Washington, D.C. to all the memorials. The World War II Memorial, Naval Memorial, Korean War Memorial. Took all kind of pictures and everything, and it was a good trip, too.
I'm glad that I could be a part of Mr. Jack's story.
And it is halftime at the HCAC Game of the Week. Anderson and Mount St. Joseph. Mount St. Joseph leads 21-6. And I had to say Joseph, or this lady next door to me, Melody, would be probably hit me in the arm. It is not the other. It is Mount St. Joseph.
Mount St. Joseph, absolutely.
There you go, the Mount. Athletic directors of athletics, and it has been a busy month for you. I know we tried to communicate a couple of times. Let's email. And that's how we've been talking back and forth. But what a busy month.
Absolutely, been a busy month. We thought last spring was going to be busy with all the teams playing at once, but getting everybody back in the fall and getting rolling and having full enrollment and full games instead of half schedules it's been crazy, and it's always helpful when some of your teams are going into the postseason to make it a little bit more busy.
And what's really interesting is if you guys were the number one seed for volleyball, there would have been 5 events within 2 hours of each other. I don't know how you guys would have done it.
We're not sure either.
But you would have.
We would have gotten it done, absolutely. Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about the soccer program. They've been having great success. The football team's great success. The volleyball team, number 2 in the conference, and will be seeded and will be playing at Earlham next week on IndianaSRN and HCAC.TV. Talk about those programs. They really have picked up, haven't they?
Absolutely. So our women's soccer program's been pretty good over the years. We have a new coach this year, Darren Gallagher. The team was picked to finish like 5th or 6th in the conference, and they have just been phenomenal this year. They took the regular season conference championship last week, and we'll be competing next week, starting on Wednesday, in the semifinals here at the Mount.
And it's always nice to have that number 1 seed going into a tournament, isn't it?
It is. It puts a little bit of pressure on you, but it is nice. You get that home field advantage, which is obviously good.
The loaded target on your back, though, you got to kind of like that because a couple years ago, and like you said, a lot of people didn't even think you were going to make it any ways of soccer here.
Right, absolutely. So yeah, the kids are excited. They're proud. They can't wait. I was talking earlier. We have a bell that we bring down for football games, and the women's soccer team told me this morning, like, we need the bell at the game. And I was like, we'll get it there. We'll take care of you.
Yeah, it's 300 pounds, but we'll get it there. We just keep Jarrett here. He can just Garrett for you. He's just perfect. Talk a little bit about the volleyball, and with now IndianaSRN and the HCAC.TV network as a partner, it's been really good for your athletic program because you've had some really great results the last 5 weeks.
Absolutely. It's been a great partnership. We're really appreciative of everything you guys have done. Our coaching staffs and our players tell us how excited they are to see the stuff and to be able to get onto the website and take a look at everything. So I know you guys are going to be at the HCAC Championships in Earlham, and we're excited.
And we got a date Sunday, right?
Yes, sir.
You better be there. One of the things I will tell you, Coach, is when kids get the Twitter or they get the replay, all of a sudden, they just hit. They love that stuff.
Over and over. And they're screening it and sending it to their mom and their dad and their aunt and their uncle.
And the most important person, Grandma. Grandma needs to know that, too. Absolutely. In closing, if someone wants to look at the university, how do they contact the athletic department?
Oh, well, you can go to msjlions.com, and on there is our staff directory. I'd be happy to talk to anybody personally, but our website's up to date and good to go. So
this lady says that she, is really tired, but she can make it. Let me tell you, the basketball season coming, they're going to be great basketball playing right here. If you're local and you're watching this thing, you need to come support this team. Both teams are going to be pretty good.
Absolutely. Both teams are going to have a good season, and we're excited for it. And we're going to do some events at the games, so come on out and join us.
And hopefully you're going to have us do some of your games. That
Absolutely.
would be good.
Well, you're an event, right?
I'm a huge event. Trust
Exactly.
me. It's me and Dumbo. Yeah, something like that. We'll take a break. When we come back, a lot more for you. It's halftime. 21-6.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
Back at halftime, 21-6, Mount St. Joseph over Anderson. Thank you very much for joining us. And our last guest today is the president, and you know he's the man. And James Williams joins us. And first of all, thank you for your hospitality. When we came in today, the police escort for the broadcast team was awesome. Now, I don't know about the siren. All I know is woo, woo, woo. But it was pretty cool. Thanks so much. We appreciate it. The production team didn't get that, but we got that. We appreciate that.
Well, that's fantastic. We aim to please.
Talk a little bit about the university and how proud you are of being the president of this university.
Well, I am proud to be the president of this university. We've been around for over 100 years now, and I've been here in my 6th year now. So I'm really pleased that we've been able to continue the great heritage and legacy of the Sisters of Charity of Cincinnati, who founded us back in 1920.
For a minute there, I thought you would say, I've been here all 100 years, and I wouldn't know. You look good. Talk a little about the atmosphere, because today, again, walking in, there was just a different attitude. It was a rainy, drizzly, cold morning, but the people just come out and support the programs.
Oh, well, they absolutely do, because we have a culture here at the university of supporting each other, period. Faculty, staff, students, everybody working together. We have been doing this for over 100 years now, but it's something that's just a part of who we are. We talk about having the heart of a lion and serving the common good, and we believe we start by sharing and caring for each other.
And that Christian attitude as well is there, too, through and through.
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And we don't, the good thing is that we not only recognize the fact that, Catholicism is great, but we recognize all religions and all faiths. And we accept folks who have great faith, those who have little faith, those who have no faith, and those who have any faith. Because the bottom line is that we're all human beings, and we recognize that we have to take care of each other.
And he's the father of all, correct.
That's right.
I love that at all. Talk a little bit about the history with IndianaSRN new to your conference and putting all your football games on. Hopefully we'll build that. Has that came across your table? Does people say, hey, these guys are doing this for us?
Well, I haven't heard anything negatives, which is a really good thing. That's a really good thing. but we do appreciate all the technology and all the folks who make this happen. We know it doesn't just happen by chance. So we appreciate what you guys are doing, and we think it can only help the university get better.
Talk a little bit about the enrollment, because you've seen numbers increasing. That's a good thing.
Yeah, numbers have been increasing over the past couple of years, and this year we're higher than we were in 2019, which is really good. Obviously, last year was an off year, but we're interested. I mean, we're anxious to see what happens next year, because we believe we're headed in the right direction, and so it's a good thing.
Okay, I got 30 seconds. You had surgery. How's the recovery? Do you need me to help you? Do you need a PT guy? Do you need someone? Jarrett can carry you down the stairs if you need some help.
No, I think I'm hanging in there.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
But good recovery, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for what you're doing. We really appreciate you.
Love being here. Love being here. It is halftime. We'll come back with the fellas right after this. You're listening and watching IndianaSRN on HCAC.TV.
This is Brittany. A little thing I love about the egg white grill is the toasty English muffin. It's toasted perfectly. It's just a little crispy, but not like hard crispy, but just crispy enough that when you bite into it, everything is perfect.
My name is Curtis, and I love the egg white grill because the egg itself, it's like soft and fluffy, like a pillow. I wouldn't eat my pillow, but I'd eat the Chick-fil-A breakfast egg white sandwich for sure.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Halftime here at Mount St. Joseph University. The Lions on top for the moment. 21-6 our score over the Ravens of Anderson University. With Sean Kroll, Jarrett Lewis here. Keith Myers doing an excellent job with our halftime interview. Some great guests from Mount St. Joseph University. And now we have the second half of play getting closer to approaching. Mount St. Joseph received the first half kickoff, so it will be Anderson to get the football to begin this second half. Keys to this second game for Anderson especially, Sean. We talked about how you said they were up to par with how their running game has been most of this season, and again, it's been sort of a disaster, just 14 rushing yards compared to 135 for Mount St. Joseph. They have to get that going somehow and kind of take the pressure off of Harley, who's done a lot on his own.
Yeah, the key is offensively for Anderson, as Harley is 10 of 17 for 128 yards and 1 touchdown. But nearly half of that came on the one broken play where Talent got downfield on the sideline. So they need to figure out what they want to do offensively to try and get more first downs and kind of move the ball down the field. Whereas Mount St. Joseph, defensively, things are great. Their pass rush is really good. They're putting a lot of pressure on Harley. Offensively for Mount St. Joseph, I wouldn't be surprised to see me come out here and really try and kind of put their foot on the pedal and kind of, if you will, sew this up as quickly as they can.
The second half kickoff upcoming from Farsing. Farsing missed a 20-yard field goal, but has been perfect on his PATs. Fresh 15 minutes up on the scoreboard. And the Ravens will begin things from left to right. This return from the 15-yard line, reversing his course and taken down around the 20-yard line. That's where the Ravens will begin this opening second half drive.
Pretty decent kick. One of the up men took it for Anderson. Great coverage and tackling, so they'll be starting their drive about the 18-yard line. Harley in the offense coming back out again. Talent is the guy that they look for offensively in terms of the passing game, but Mount St. Joseph's done a pretty good job double teaming him and bringing a safety to help out, except for, again, like we said, that one pass that is his lone catch of the night, I believe.
He's got two.
I apologize.
One earlier for 8, and then the 62-yarder. He now has 50 receptions on the season. They'll begin things with a run to Robinson, and it's like reading a book over and over again. The Mount St. Joseph defense is limited the run game to minimal yards. In fact, it's a loss of 1.
The main weapon really has been James Tucker, the senior from Brookville, Indiana, has caught quite a few receptions for this squad today and scored the lone touchdown for the Ravens.
Tight end on the left side of the formation for Anderson. Harley, a long mesh with the running back, and he ends up throwing it downfield, trying to get it to Talent. An underthrown ball, and looks like the defender for Mount St. Joseph thought he could have came away with the interception.
Yeah, Devin Donnerworth, he thought, he got his kind of feet tangled up and started to backpedal, but he saw that was underthrown and was going to pick it off, had eagle eyes for it, couldn't quite get it, but at least he knocked it away.
The horn sounds here at Schuler Field as third down is upcoming for Anderson. Harley will have 3 receivers to his right. Talent, the lone receiver, on the left side.
Safety coming down. Donnerworth, now he's going back into coverage.
Harley wrapped up by his right leg and taken down. Sack on the play for the Lions. Noah Hammond, the senior from Brookville, gets to the quarterback and brings him down for a lengthy sack.
Just what the doctor ordered if you're Mount St. Joseph, 3 and out. And now you're going to get good field position here because the punter is punting from the end zone. Again, soccer guy, first-year punting. He's got to be careful. Any type of issue with the snap, he's close to the back line, could be a problem.
Oliver had 1 punt back in the first half. Slight rollout to his right and gets off a decent punt over the head of Donalworth, the returner. And now it takes a Anderson roll, and Donalworth opts to pick it up, and he's tackled at the 42-yard line. Now a late flag comes in.
They're going to call that late hit on 55.
It appeared the referee in the middle of the field was looking down an Anderson player, and the flag went straight up into the air. It appears this one's going to go against the Ravens.
And it was well after the play ended as well.
And not something you want after a great punt from Oliver out of his own end zone.
That was a great punt.
It is a personal foul. Unnecessary roughness against Anderson.
It was on 15. And that's going to tack 15 yards onto that, and they haven't even run a play, and they're in Anderson's territory already.
Now, I'm not sure if it was 15 is Jose Olivo, but he was not on the punt team. Right now he's out at free safety. But he's the only 15 on the roster for Anderson, so maybe the wrong number, but who knows? It's still a penalty that puts Mount St. Joseph into Anderson territory, and they start with Newton keeping it himself and trying to get around the edge. He gets to the 35.
Simple quarterback run there, stacked line on the left side, try and get that seal on the edge, let him come around, but there's a flag on the play too, and it's going to come back because of a hold on the Mount.
Not very many penalties in that first half for Mount St. Joseph. Just 2 and just 3 for Anderson, but both teams have picked up an early one in this third quarter. So now first down and 20. Newton trying to get that penalty yardage back. He gets close to the original line of scrimmage. Is able to pick up 8 to the 45 of Anderson.
Nice job by Brandon Goodman, a defensive lineman, senior from Logansport, Indiana, junior, with the pursuit and making the tackle. But, again, we talked about this in the first half, Jarrett. And when Newton's in, he's the running option for the Lions.
Newton came into this ball game averaging 4.5 yards per carry. And he's still back there and gets another carry here. Is stood up and pushed back. Newton up the middle does this time get back to the line of scrimmage.
Now they're going to give him 1 on the play. It's going to be 3rd and 11, and Ayler's back in for Mount St. Joseph.
Passing situation possibly upcoming here for the Lions. They'll have 3 receivers to the left. The wing on that left side is Gary Powell. Haven't seen anything of Austin Brock yet. He's in the slot to the left, and he's going deep downfield, but Ayler has nobody open, tucks it, and picks up a short amount of yards, just 3. 4th down and 7, and the punting unit already out there for Coach Hopperton.
Boy, he thought he could get through, and Anderson defender, it looked like it might have been Austin Wieland, just snagged his jersey and would not let go. So Ayler couldn't break free and get the first down yardage because he had some space.
And for the first time in this ball game, the Lions will punt this one away with Ryan Murray trying to pin Anderson deep, but this punt goes well out of bounds. We'll see where the referees move up and mark it.
That was a shankopotamus right there.
Nice word.
Thank you.
24-yard line, and that was almost where an Anderson player caught it out of bounds, so not much going forward did the referee, but probably not the best punt from Murray.
Maybe a 10-yard, 15-yard punt. Was trying to pin it down in the coffin corner, but went off the side of his foot.
So for the second time now, the offense back out onto the field, and a long field to work with does Anderson. They'll begin things at the 24. Tucker in jet motion. Harley keeps it. Floater down the field, and Robinson put his left arm out there And it was just too strong of a throw from Harley.
I like the play call of getting the running back out into space on a linebacker and beating him, but the wheel route just didn't go that time and overthrown by Harley.
Now the last 4 passes from Harley have been incompletions. Ever since that 62-yarder with talent, he's just 4 of 5 for 10 yards. 1 of 5, and now he's 1 of 6, and it should have been an interception.
Yeah, that was Anthony Wright, and he did not see it. Harley did not see the defender as Wright came down, saw what they were trying to do, crashed hard, and it was in his breadbasket. He just couldn't hold on to it.
One of the players we highlighted on this Lions defense, and Wright not going to be happy with himself about that one, although it's still 3rd down and long here for Anderson.
He had his eyes on Caleb Brown on that play, and Wright almost made him pay.
3-step drop for Harley. Moves up into the pocket as a flag comes in. He connects with his receiver for the first time. Making this catch is Dean Foundas.
I had a feeling that's going to be coming back. As if the referee throws it, it's almost always holding.
Anderson offense already taking some steps backwards. Now with the penalty, they're going to accept it and make it 3rd and even longer. I think you can go either way. You can accept and make it 3rd and 20, or you can decline, make it 4th and 10. Obviously, they're going to punt, but now
they got the first down. They got the first down on the catch, so they're going to take the penalty because they still had the ball marked at the.
Oh, that is true. You're
at
correct.
the 37-yard line.
So now it's at the 14.
Yeah, 3rd and 20.
So if it was an incompletion, you're probably declining it. But, yes, you're right.
Watch Hammond and Brophy and Buller here if they're all in the pass rush of the Lions.
Swing it out. Wide receiver screen. Decent pickup on 3rd down and 20. 10 or 11 yards, but still too much to overcome for Anderson. They'll have to punt this time.
Again, nice pursuit by the defensive lineman chasing down Robinson for a short gain and bringing the punt team on for Anderson again.
It's Oliver now for the 3rd time. And again, Donovan back to receive, and the punt is blocked. Falling on it is the Lions, and they'll have it inside the 10, around the 9-yard line. Blocking that punt for the Mount was Austin Price.
That right there is the lone issue with having a rugby-style kicker. It takes more time to get the ball off, and they had a great rush, and they're spread out everywhere. I don't know why they try these different formations on punt teams, but it didn't work out that time for him, and Price blocked it and recovered it, but there's a penalty flag on the play.
The marker is down at the 36-yard line, so well behind where the action was at the block. Austin Price, the sophomore, gets the block. Looks like the Lions had 4 guys rushing through and just 3 blockers back for Anderson. The penalty is against Anderson, and it's another unsportsmanlike.
Those are the kind of things you can't have. This game is not out of reach yet. And when you have a play like that, you cannot lose your cool and make it worse to where the point where it's going to literally be 1st and goal almost for Mount St. Joseph. You cannot have those penalties.
It won't be much yardage tacked on with the penalty. And the head coach for Anderson, that's Steve Rock. He's getting an explanation. He doesn't seem too happy with what unfolded in that previous play.
It's probably going to be half the distance since they're already inside.
It was recovered around the 8-yard line. This is a lengthy discussion from Coach Rock.
They're letting him state his case.
He may be arguing that it's kind of a evened out situation, but like there's probably a little bit of chippiness that we aren't seeing all the time, and it may be both Mount St. Joseph and Anderson. So he could be saying, hey, why is it my guy and not against both guys?
It's always the guy who retaliates that gets busted for it. Let's go down to the sidelines. I think Keith's got something for us.
Asking is, why are you calling the unsportsmanlike conduct when it's been going on all night? It's a lot of chippiness, and if you didn't see away from the play, there was a little extra corrective activity that the back judge saw. Need to clean it up because we're still 9:40 left in this ball game. There's lots of time left. A lot of things can go on at the end, especially at the third quarter. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, 9:40 in the third, and then the whole entire fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, definitely want to clean it up, and this discussion is still ongoing. I'm sure the players are just saying, "Hey, let's just play some football." That's what
referee's coming over to talk to Coach Hopperton on the sideline as well. To see what's going on. That pink hat right there, that's Josh Taylor, the original starting quarterback at the beginning of the year. Well, maybe he might. I take that back.
There's two pink hats.
Yeah, Taylor's at the end of the bench with the pink hat on.
And he's talking to Jake Ayler, who's been the quarterback for most of this game. Keith, you got something else for us?
Yeah, fellas, he's warned both coaches to clean it up, or they're going to clean it up for them. So that both coaches now have been warned.
That's a good thing to get across and try to prevent for the rest of this game. Extracurricular. So now, after the penalty, ball's at the 5. Trying to score in one play. He gets around the defender and into the end zone. For the first time, a rushing touchdown for Mount St. Joseph. Mackenzie Mariano on his 15th carry hits pay dirt.
Boy, I thought they had him stacked behind the line of scrimmage, but he was able to escape the defender and get around to the corner and stick it into the end zone right there at the pylon. You like these one-play drives. You'll see right here, nice little stiff arm on, I believe that was McLean, who's been unbelievable today.
And how about Taylor on the sideline? Pump it up, pump it up. His team back into the end zone.
How was that again?
Pump it up, pump it up.
Okay.
Just raise the roof. 2 hands up in the air.
You're acting like you're my age now.
It's 28-6. Lions on top in this third quarter on IndianaSRN.
You're good at making big announcements.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
A 5-yard touchdown scamper for Mackenzie Mariano, the junior tailback for Mount St. Joseph from Owensboro, Ohio. Here's the kickoff, returned by Talent, and he's wrangled down at the 27.
Anderson's really going to have to start slinging it now. Normally, not much time. I mean, we talked about how there's a lot of time left, but in terms of what Anderson's been able to do offensively, they just can't run the football at all. So it's going to be all hands on deck to sling it around. And those defensive linemen for Mount St. Joseph, they are licking their chops.
After the block punt by Austin Price took just 1 yard for Mount St. Joseph to score. Here's another wide receiver screen out to Talent. This one going nowhere. And after 4 straight incompletions, Harley does connect with the receiver, but it goes for no gain.
That's just a case of trying to get the football in your best player's hands and let him do something with it. Although great defensive read by the Lions and really no gain on the play.
McKenzie's game so far, 15 rushes for 59 yards. Good for 4 yards a carry. Looking to throw yet again. Harley down the sideline, overshoots everybody. In the area was Tucker and Brown, and it landed in between the two of them.
Good defensive play there by Deshaun Starks on the coverage.
So many situations in this ballgame where Anderson has faced third down and long situations, and here's another one with third down and 10. Harley has 3 receivers towards his right. Feels the pressure over the middle of the field, connects with his man. That's Talent. That's enough for a first down, 13 yards. Talent has catch number 4.
Found a little soft spot there in the middle of the field. Nice job by Harley to get him to football, and they're quickly back to the line of scrimmage.
Moving quickly is the Anderson offense now. Harley standing strong in that pocket and delivering that ball to Talent. Initially faked the quick throw to Talent and was trying to look deep, but those routes were covered and Talent left alone, and another gain of nothing.
See the first down catch here. Oh, right there in the middle. Nice little pitch and catch there.
And more pressure coming in from Noah Hammond. He's been in the backfield a couple of times now. Second down and 10. They're at the 40. Hammond again got into the backfield, but it's gotten out quickly to Robinson. Flag comes in the secondary. You see it picked up by the referee right around the 50-yard line, and now he puts it down at the 43.
We've called Hammond's name a lot today, and that's been the issue for Harley and the Ravens. He doesn't have much time to allow anything to really going to take place on the route tree for all his receivers because the pass rush has been so strong for Mount St. Joseph.
Lengthy discussion between the referees, and neither team knowing what the call is. So the explanation from the head referee was no penalty on Anderson for offensive pass interference. It's kind of one of those situations where, well, why was the flag thrown in the first place? Not sure. Maybe after a discussion they figured out and they got it right. So it's a completion.
Well, the pass was completed behind the line of scrimmage. That's why there was no offensive pass interference.
That makes sense. That's from our own head referee, that being Keith Myers. Quick out. Completion made. Far side. Harley gets to Zach Talent again.
Talent is their guy. That's why he's the school's all-time leading receiver.
And it's a quick throw by Harley, and well beyond the sticks was Talent running the hitch route. Now into Lions territory. From the 44, Harley, more pressure fell, and keeping 1 foot in at least. On the far sideline for Anderson was Dean Foundas.
That was Brady Buller there on the pressure again. They have made Harley have happy feet all night long.
Here's a second down and 7 for the Ravens. Continuing to throw the football, this time to the right side of the field and connecting with Caleb Brown. Just a freshman, and he gets his 4th reception. This one picks up another first down.
Been very impressed with Caleb Brown. He's done a great job on the opposite side of Talent, allowing them to go to both sides and not have the focus on Talent with the safety coming down because Brown's made some plays. That was a good throw by Harley as well.
It's a 10-yard pickup for Brown. He has 4 catches for 55 yards. And Harley's getting closer to the 200-yard mark. He's at 180. Looking to pass again. Fakes it to his left. Now comes back to the right side and throws a ground ball to Brown.
It's a good idea. He just couldn't put the ball where he wanted it after pump faking a couple of times and then reversing course to the right side of the field.
4 straight completions for Harley up until that pass. And now will they throw it again or go back to Robinson, who's been quiet so far in the second half? Harley doesn't see it coming and takes a huge smack from his blind side. Declan Brophy, the sophomore from Knoxville, lit up Harley, and he never saw it coming.
Boy, Harley may need to go to the dentist because I think all his teeth got rattled on that shot.
Brophy beating the right tackle from Anderson.
Those are the plays you dream of as a defensive end, to come that clean. And, boy, even coming from his, not from his blind side, he still just smoked him. Whew.
Harley looking left the entire way. And now here's 3rd down and 16. Harley will get rid of this one, going to the end zone into triple coverage. Robinson is the intended target. Just a hard pass to complete, a hard play to get anything, any sort of yardage back after that sack. And now offense looks to stay out there. They're at the 39, but a 4th down and 16 upcoming.
And this is a tough call for the offensive coordinator. You haven't had much luck at all getting the ball down the field on deep throws outside of the 10-yard mark. So what do you have in your game plan to get 16 yards when you absolutely have to have it right here?
3 receivers to the top of your screen. Harley takes his drop, airs it down for Brown, and he overshoots him here too. A lot of passes overthrown by Harley, and a couple of times he's had guys that are open. They have the step on the defender, but just can't connect.
And again, though, Brophy was right in his face. The pass rush has really caused Harley to be uncomfortable in the pocket, and that's what you want. He hasn't been able to make the passes he's want for the routes that have been run, and you got to give credit to the defensive line of Mount St. Joseph.
Another turnover on downs. The Lions get it back, and they send Ayler out to start the drive at quarterback. Running the football is Mariano. Colin McCaffrey makes the stop for Anderson after a 4-yard pickup.
Mariano's had a pretty decent day so far running the football. Him and Newton have been the main culprits with a couple scrambles by Ayler.
16 carries, 64 yards for Mackenzie Mariano, and he gets another look here. Forced to bounce it out as Sotelo and McCaffrey and Walker, 3-man team up for Anderson to push him out.
Yeah, Walker did a fantastic job there, stretching the play down the line of scrimmage and not giving him the corner for a very short gain, and now you've got 3rd and 2 if you're the Lions. And again, a name we haven't heard very much today at all, Jarrett, Austin Brock.
One of the leading receivers for Mount St. Joseph. In fact, he is. He has 37 catches this year. Joey Newton has 28, and Newton has gotten a lot of snaps at quarterback. Ayler this time, quarterback draw, plenty to pick up the 1st down as he enters into Ravens territory.
Honestly, that seemed to be like a design play. Get the snap and take the drop, and he saw the path up the middle of the field to get the 1st down and move the sticks, and so he did.
Ayler has picked up 56 yards with his legs. He has 114 through the air, and now it's Joey Newton. Newton will keep it and has a lead block. Looks to be a 3-yard pickup. Newton's had a quiet later part of this game. In this second half, this is the first time we've seen him take a snap at quarterback, and now he'll head back to the sideline after those 3 yards.
Yeah, his plays aren't gaining as many yards since the early part of the game because Anderson knows when he's in, he's going to keep the football and run it.
Newton and Ayler have combined for 100 yards rushing. It's Ayler back out there, taking a big hit as McLean keeps him up and gain tackled. Shavonte McGriff, just his 3rd carry this afternoon.
And Mariano put a lick on Walker, and Walker's slow getting up.
Take another look at it. It's a crowded box for Anderson, and McGriff bounced it outside. Walker was the one who came in and laid the hit on McGriff, and he's slow to get up, but it looks like he's going to be able to make it to the sideline on his own.
There was McGriff on the carry, and my goodness, I think he dished out more punishment there than Walker did.
Mount St. Joseph using a couple of different body types. The speedy Newton. Ayler at quarterback has had success running the football, and he this time puts it through the air, connecting again with Kinholt for the 4th time. Kinholt gets out to the 24-yard line. That's another first down for the Mount.
You know, it seems most quarterbacks have the one guy they like to go to most often. For Ayler, it seems to be Kinholt. He's had quite a few catches today. They've hooked up on a couple of touchdown passes as well.
Kinholt now over 80 yards receiving on his 4 catches. They go back to the ground game with McGriff. Just a long drive that Mount St. Joseph has put together late in this 3rd quarter.
The crime dog, McGriff. You probably don't even know that reference, do you?
No, sad to say I don't.
Fred McGriff, borderline Hall of Fame first baseman.
Oh, from the Padres, yeah. Okay, well, I didn't know what
Call him the crime dog.
The crime dog, okay. Ayler looking to pass. It's a familiar spot. This corner of the end zone. Touchdown number 4 for Ayler. This time hooking up with Cam York, the sophomore. He hails from Knoxville, Tennessee. And
Walker is going to be disqualified at the end of this play.
Walker was the defender, and he's not happy. He thought he had his face mask grabbed. And then you can see him motioning that to the referees, and then referees, 2 of them, throwing flags.
They'll probably take that penalty yardage on the kickoff as well.
Cam York scores the touchdown, and then afterwards the unsportsmanlike. And like you said, Sean, a disqualification results from that in Walker, and just kind of been a tough game for the secondary. It's Ayler who's only thrown the ball 8 times. Only has 2 incompletions, but those passes, all of them have been well over 14 yards, and some of them over 30. It's been long extended passing plays that Anderson has been getting beat on.
Yeah, Ayler's done a fantastic job of running this offense, and good routes that his receivers are running. He knows where they're going to be. It probably helps because he is a receiver himself, knowing where those guys are going to be at, and he's done a fantastic job in the absence of both Taylor and Prather.
Another flag comes in after the Farfsing PAT goes through. It came from one of the back judges. For those of you counting at home, it was 19 yards for Ayler to Cam York. It's the 4th touchdown pass for Jake Ayler. This penalty appears to be against Anderson, so Mount St. Joseph will accept it on the kickoff. And this is going to be a really short kickoff upcoming for Mount St. Joseph. We'll see where they indeed set it up for them to kick off when we come back. It's a 35-6 game. Mount St. Joseph rolling away with this one. The explanation from the coach seems like the kickoff is going to come from the 40-yard line on Anderson's side. So after the 2 personal foul penalties against Anderson, that could very well move it up to it's going to be the 35 of Anderson.
Wow.
So even further than we thought. So originally you kick from the 35 on your own side of the field. But with 50 yards of penalties, 30 yards of penalties, that puts the ball at the 35 of Anderson.
And don't forget, Coach Hopperton is also the special teams coach for Mount St. Joseph. That's why he was out there talking to his squad before they went out in the field.
And the Anderson kickoff return team really bunched up. 5 guys standing at the 25. See if Coach Hop elects to make things interesting or if he just has Farfsing put it through the end zone. It's a short line drive kick that's caught at around the 16-yard line. So it's a short field upcoming for Anderson after the return was made by the Ravens' number 80, Cade Bechtold.
That's a fantastic job of holding on to the football, because once he got it, the Lions were there ready to knock it out. So he kept possession for the Ravens, which was of utmost importance on that kick.
Ravens will begin this drive now at the 20. Currently down 29 points. Up to a 4-score ball game. Harley sidearms it, trying to sneak one in to Tucker. But it's going to be incomplete.
And once again, pressure coming up the middle from Mount St. Joseph. Looked like Jarvis Langham putting pressure on Harley on that play.
Harley's completion percentage coming in was at 55%, 1,000 yards throwing. So far, he's at 179 through the air, and this connection is of 7 yards, so now he's at 186. But the completion percentage in this game also right at 55%. It's been hard passes to come by here of late in the second half, and Anderson throwing the football. This is what they've had to rely on now for the duration of this game.
Smart play by Talent there to use his body as another blocking mechanism on the DB, because the DB had read that very well, which I believe was Starks, and Talent used his body to shield himself.
Talent with 7 catches, 100 yards receiving. Back shoulder throw going back to number 11. This time incomplete. 4th down upcoming. Punting unit out onto the field.
And it is going to be tough for this Anderson defense because they are worn out. They haven't been off the field that long. Now they're going to come right back on.
Time of possession has most definitely gone into the favor of Mount St. Joseph, although right now they've only had it 3 minutes longer. But this drive upcoming will certainly add on to that. No block punt this time. It's a great boot off the right foot of Oliver. It bounces off of Donovan, and he's pushed back and brought down at the 26 and was pushed forward out to around the 28.
Devin Donworth, boy, that's not one where you want to tip it to yourself like we saw earlier with Brown for Anderson.
Donworth has been the usual return man back, and this is quite a punt from Oliver. You see it bounce off appears to be his right shoulder.
Newton back in at quarterback for the Mount.
This drive will start at the 28. Just 8 seconds left to go. One final play, unless running out of bounds does the running back. That was McGriff, and a penalty marker comes in from the head referee. It's going to be a hold against the Mount. Second holding call against Mount St. Joseph in this quarter. And not too long ago we were talking about how this was mostly a penalty-free kind of game, but there's been a little bit of extracurricular, little push and shoving, a little bit of talking as well, and that's resulted in some personal foul on sportsmanlike calls.
And that holds on Colin Kandra from Cincinnati Elder. Not really the way you want to get your name on TV, but.
And the Lions will have to just let the clock wind down and move on to the fourth and final quarter. 15 minutes left to go in this one. The Lions trying to go to 4-1 in conference play on their home turf. They lead at 35-6 in the Heartland Game of the Week on HCAC.TV. Back at Mount St. Joseph University, home of the Lions. They lead at 35-6. We'll send it back to our sideline reporter, being the coach, Keith Myers.
Great lead-in, guys. We have the volleyball semifinals and finals next weekend on IndianaSRN and HCAC.TV. Jared has to do double duty. He's got to do the football game on Saturday. Jimmy Cook will be with me at Earlham College, and then Jared has to carry me next Sunday for the championship game. Check out our website and check out the HCAC.TV website as well. All the information right there. Earlham, the number 1 seed, is favorite, but I tell you what, the top 4 seeds are really good, but you never know in this tournament. It is a crazy tournament. Back up to you guys.
Thanks so much, Keith. Looking forward to that. The semifinals and finals next weekend in the HCAC.
Couple of score updates here really quick. Hanover leading Manchester 19-0. And here's another surprise. Defiance leads Franklin at halftime 7-6.
Defiance able to pull off the upset last week against these Lions. 14-13 was that final score. They were able to begin the game with Tyler Prather, who's their usual backup quarterback, but he got injured in that one. This run is ruled down by the referees. Anderson thought they were going to come away with a fumble, but it's just a short pickup for McGriff.
The crime dog. You probably don't even know where Fred McGriff got that name, because there used to be a commercial of McGruff. He was a dog. He was a crime dog. And it's, let's take a bite out of crime at the end. And so that's how they kind of got the crime dog for Fred McGriff.
I'm glad we have you here to put in all these references.
I am the king of worthless knowledge, Jarrett, if you didn't already know that.
No, that's all right. We enjoy it most of the time. Yeah, our producer says the older fans probably enjoy it.
Wow. Well, you know.
And the coach.
Being that I am older, you know, that makes sense.
Meanwhile, there's a false start against Mount St. Joseph, so now 3rd and 11 becomes 3rd and 16. So we enter the fourth quarter now. Lions looking to just put this one on cruise control.
I hope the old people get that. Cruise control.
Pass from Ayler as he's flushed out and making the catch as he falls on his back. Looks like the reception goes to Ari Turner. We see him for the first time.
Hey, fellas. Jarrett, I am that old guy.
I am that old guy. I just want to let you know. But we're the leaders, that's real good. And Sean, you're right. McGriff was the dog. It was I think it was a beagle or something, wasn't it?
I don't remember the type of dog, but I remember the commercials because he wore the long overcoat.
Jose Olivo takes a couple of beatings from Mount St. Joseph after a great punt from Ryan Murray. Olivo is able to get it out to the 38-yard line for Anderson.
And we flip again as we take a look. Our schedule the next couple of weeks, we will be at volleyball, like we talked about, and the commercials you've seen and coaches talked about numerous times today for the game of the week for football. Next week, we will be at Franklin for the first time this year as Rose Holman comes into Franklin. And Franklin's got their work cut out for him today. And then the bell game, Hanover hosts Franklin last week of the year. A lot of repercussions going on with some of these games, Jarrett, in terms of who's going to come out with the conference championships.
Should be two exciting games to finish off our Heartland Tour. 7 weeks of the Heartland Game of the Week here on IndianaSRN. And what better way to end things with the bell game, finish off the regular season, Hanover and Franklin.
Well, I know Hanover and Mount St. Joseph are rooting are going to be rooting hard, and it seems kind of weird. Hanover's going to be rooting for Franklin next week to beat Rose Holman.
Yeah, currently Rose sits atop the Heartland Conference at 4-0, and then Hanover and Mount St. Joseph tied for second with that 3-1 mark. Harley feels the pressure and is swallowed up. 3-yard loss on the sack. Multiple players in there for Mount St. Joseph, including number 51 being Evan Schlengsker. This will make it now 3rd down and 6.
Let's go D! Let's go D!
3 receivers to the top of the screen now for Anderson. Harley will lob one down the field. Brown trying to go over the top, but the penalty marker does come in. It's going to be pass interference, and I don't think he realizes it, that being Andrew Pierce. He's the sophomore corner.
That was pretty darn good coverage, but I guess just he didn't get his head turned around.
It's a 15-yard penalty, giving an automatic first down to Anderson, and I thought the same thing. I thought pretty good coverage, although he doesn't turn around and look for the ball.
Yeah.
That may play a factor. And Brown had to come back just a little bit to try and get that pass. So now, new set of downs for Anderson. This time he does get it to Brown. And Brown breaks one tackle and gets a couple extra yards after the catch. It's going to be another first down as Brown's able to pick up 14 yards. Caleb Brown now has his 5th reception. He's at 70 yards receiving. And Anderson trying to get this one back with a reasonable score. Wide open down the field is Talent. And he's going to walk into the end zone for the touchdown. 29 yards between Harley and Zach Talent. That's his 9th reception. And it puts 12 points now up on the board for Anderson.
Again, you see why Talent is the talent on this offense. He's just a smart football player thrown up in the air, but he had everybody beat. For some reason, Mount St. Joseph thought they were in man-to-man, and one thought they were in zone, and the safety didn't come over, and Talent was wide open.
Yeah, it looked kind of like some busted coverage. You saw Evan Schlengsker was kind of underneath Talent, and had to have been because Mount St. Joseph probably doesn't want a linebacker on a receiver like Talent. And so Anderson makes him pay and gets it into the end zone. Talent now 129 yards receiving.
So they're going for 2 points here.
2-point conversion on the out. and a deflection this time. Maybe redeeming himself after that pass interference is Andrew Pierce, and he keeps the score at 12 for Anderson. It's a 23-point lead for Mount St. Joseph. 11-16 left to go in this one, the Heartland Game of the Week on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Hey, check out our website, IndianaSRN.org, for more sports action. We webcast more than 300 games a year. And also, if you want to find out what we're doing, follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN or subscribe to our YouTube channel.
And after this game is over, you can watch the replay of this game on our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Here's the kickoff from Anderson. Kinhalt back to return. Dances around trying to find a hole, but he's only going to get it out to the 17.
This broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. For the private use of our audience, the use of pictures, video, and audio without the express written permission of the HCAC is prohibited.
Still 11:09 left to play in this one. Of course, if you're the Lions, don't want to make any sort of quick mistake. Keep things simple and easy. Don't want Anderson to put up another score and make it a 2-possession game.
You definitely want to try and run some clock.
And they get it out, and looking to run before he had it for Mount St. Joseph was Hayden Bell. Bell had a touchdown reception back in the second quarter, his only catch for 16 yards.
Yeah, he's going to be upset with himself. He already is, but when he sees the film with some space that he had out there, he's going to be beside himself.
That's just the third incompletion as well from Jake Ayler. He's 9 of 12. This time they run the football. Mariano gets to the 25 before being brought back all the way to about the 18 or 19-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain. We'll bring up 3rd and 3.
At this point, if you're the Mount, you just want to keep the chains rolling and the clock moving and get out of here as quickly as possible.
And with a win, it'll move Mount St. Joseph to 4-1 in conference play. We'll check on the Hanover score again and see how that game is going for the Panthers. They're the other 3-1 team. A keeper for Ayler. Trying to pick up a first down. It's going to be awfully close. The referee's coming in right at the line to gain.
Yeah, he's right there.
Needed the 28. And the clock will now stop. Referee wants to bring the chains out.
Hanover just scored again, 32-0, or scored twice. 32-0 over Manchester, so that is that one's kind of all done, but the singing there, and then Franklin has come from behind there, now leading Defiance 13-7.
Another low-scoring affair between Franklin. It's enough for a first down. They bring the chains out. Ayler picks it up for the Mount.
All right, that was good, but in the future we want to be aimed up a little.
Clock has yet to continue moving. They've reset it to 9:56. But a new set of downs now for the Lions. Ayler is back there. He has Ari Turner. a freshman running back. Looks like Mariano, his day may be all but over. A good day's work for him, over 75 yards rushing. Turner gets his first carry. Not much doing, just one. Under 10 left to go in this one. As the Lions have the football at the right time, the time of possession has gone in their favor. Over 25 minutes and counting now with this drive. And Wisely Ayler is going to stand around, wait, let the play clock and the game clock run down as much as he can. He takes a snap with 5. Mariano is back out there. He picks up 3 yards this time. Check that. That's McGriff on the carry.
Could not find any information on the Rose-Hulman Bluffton score.
We will do our best and see if we can find any information on that. Got to guess Rose-Hulman is still playing their best football and is going to be able to take care of Bluffton, try and make it 5-0 in conference play. Again, it'll be the Fighting Engineers and Mount St. Joseph to finish off the regular season. Could be a very crucial and deciding game in the Heartland Conference. Back to McGriff. Going to be short of a first down.
Yeah, if Mount St. Joseph wins out, if they can beat Hanover here next week, they go into that last regular season game at Rose-Hulman. If they win, they both finish with 1 loss in the conference, and I believe the tiebreaker goes to Mount St. Joseph by defeating Rose-Hulman. But the key is getting their quarterbacks healthy for the game versus Hanover next week, because that is no pushover. We've seen Hanover. They're a really good football team.
On 4th down and 3, Ryan Murray with another punt. It's a high kick that bounces, takes an Anderson roll from the 31. And not sure what's going on if Anderson touched it or not. But a little bit of a scrum, and it's down at the 36-yard line. Murray hasn't had to punt a whole lot today. It's been a nice, easy day at the office for him. Just 3 punts. And Mount St. Joseph, a team who scores 28 points per game, able to top that by a touchdown now with 35.
Now the defense just has to hold. They've got some of their backups in.
It's a 3-score ball game, 23-point difference with Harley and company back out there. Harley drops the snap. Off his back foot, heaves one up towards the sideline, and no one's going to bring that one down.
I think the water guy had the fair catch signal up there on the sideline. But that bad snap will wreak havoc from the very beginning. Because I think we just got a gritty dance out there, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what they call the Justin Jefferson dance, the gritty?
I should know that, but
you should.
I don't.
Being the young one on here, you should definitely know that.
I'm sorry I let you down with that, but it's just not my expertise.
Ooh, they're still laying the wood out there.
Robinson out of the backfield makes the catch.
You're not a dancer, is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh, you look like you got some rhythm. No?
I heard you're a dancer. That's according to Nick.
Back in the day I used to be, but then they had this thing called weight gain that really comes into play. But, it is what it is. I've had my glory years.
Deep pass down the field, and again, Harley just overshoots his man. Tucker trying to run underneath it, but he ran out of real estate.
I mean, you were the one singing Sweet Caroline in here during the break.
They have played some great songs here at Mount St. Joseph. The music man is doing a tremendous job with that. Meanwhile, there's a holding penalty called against Anderson, and they will take the penalty, make it 3rd down and 14. There's been some shouts for holding penalties from the Lions bleachers, or there is just one set of bleachers, so it's mixed fans, but mostly Mount St. Joseph fans, and they have been kind of adamant about getting holding calls against Anderson. And that time they do get one there. That's now penalty number 9 against the Ravens. They have over 100 yards in penalty yards. Harley feels more pressure, rolls out to his left, and Brown dropped it. Brown was going to be able to pick up at least 10, and who knows what happens after the catch, but looking to run before he hauled it in.
Yeah, 2 things there that I was going to point out. One was what you just said. You know, he tried to run before he secured the catch. And again, the pressure of the front 4 of Mount St. Joseph has just had Harley all over the place and out of sorts all afternoon, and that's really caused issues with them in their passing game.
This will be the 5th punt upcoming from the senior kicker, Caleb Oliver. It's another booming kick from Oliver. Stands at the 20, and it's fielded at the 35. Flag comes in behind the play. Another one comes flying in as the returner gets it to the 42. We'll check on the markers. Oliver averages almost 34 yards a punt. He's had some decent ones here this afternoon.
I think that's going to be a hold.
It is indeed a hold. The 4th holding penalty called against Mount St. Joseph.
See if we get a quarterback here.
New quarterback could come in for Mount St. Joseph. They have 6 penalties to Anderson's 9. So doing good in that department, but still 4 of the 6 have been holding calls.
And Tyler Humphrey now is in at quarterback.
A freshman, someone we thought we could see in this ball game. And he gives it off to Ari Turner, who covers a lot of ground to pick up 9 yards, close to a first down. Great run by the freshman.
Speed against speed there as Turner and Trey Staley were trying to meet mano a mano there, but Turner got to the sidelines and dove out of bounds amongst his teammates.
Another Cincinnati kid is Turner, and he stays in the backfield now with the new quarterback, Tyler Humphrey. Read option again. This side, Turner, little swim move. He's going to pick up a first down, about 5 yards with this carry, and Turner with his gives, averaging 5 yards a carry, making the most of his time in this 4th quarter.
Yes, he is, and Tyler Humphrey is a freshman from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Getting closer to that 5-minute mark. As after this one, Mount St. Joseph will turn their attention to the Hanover Panthers. They'll be back on this field. Another nice swim move made by Turner. Gets a couple of oohs and ahs from the crowd. And a 6-yard pickup this time.
Fans love the razzle-dazzle, do they not? Rose-Hulman is defeating Bluffton 48-6 in the 4th quarter. So it looks like Rose-Hulman and Hanover have secured victories. The Franklin Defiance matchup still plenty of time there. Another quarterback in.
This is a new quarterback again for Mount St. Joseph, being Ty Anthony Wagner. He's a freshman from Clarksville, Tennessee. His first action is no gain, and maybe getting mixed up just a little bit on that play. And now we see another new quarterback.
Yeah.
This one being Mark Glassmeyer. So Coach Hopperton getting all of his available
I told you,
quarterbacks out there.
I should have stayed in the helmet. I could have played a play out there.
You sure could have.
I have some eligibility left.
Do you? If anyone has eligibility left, I mean.
No.
Glassmeyer, the lefty, picking up a first down. He's going to connect with his receiver, Cam York. York caught the last touchdown made by Mount St. Joseph.
He was slinging it there with the lefty.
So we've seen Ayler, Humphrey, Newton, Wagner, and Glassmeyer. 5 different quarterbacks in for Mount St. Joseph.
That'll make for a long score sheet.
And one of those guys may end up being player of the game.
He may be. One of the things we do, though, is we did not start the cookie gift for player of the week until week 2. So we have brought them for Tyler Prather for week 1 as Turner getting some space there. But we'll have more of Debbie Myers cookies for this week's player of the week. We know who it is, but you don't.
Not yet. It's getting closer. Under 3
yes.
minutes. Tyler Prather, our very first IndianaSRN player of the game. Out this week in concussion protocol. Could be available next week, as could their usual starting quarterback, Zach Taylor, but not so sure. Josh Taylor, I should say, not Zach, but could see Josh.
You were thinking the
next week.
Bengals. You were thinking the Bengals head coach, right?
He's a good head coach now.
They're
all
playing
of a
well,
sudden.
yeah. Well, it helps when you have a healthy Joe Burrow and, Jamar Chase.
They have been fun to watch, and Chase has just been unreal in his rookie year, just out of nowhere.
Big game for the Colts.
Sure is.
This weekend.
Almost a must-win. Although their schedule is fairly easy to finish out the rest of the season. They have tough games with the Bills and the Bucks. But other than that, it's mostly 500 or below teams. So it would be nice to get back to 500 if you're the Colts tomorrow.
Let's see who the Bengals have. They're at the Jets.
Oh, that'll be a doozy. Glassmeyer, the lefty, jump ball, incomplete.
I mean, hey, the Jets did beat the Titans, but, the Bengals are – I mean, you ready for this? Coming into this week, the leaders in the AFC divisions, the Raiders, the Titans, the Bengals, and Buffalo.
And maybe crazier is that the Chiefs aren't – they're in last. They're not just –
that is correct.
They're not just not first, but they're last in the
Are they
division.
last or is Denver?
Oh, they're probably tied. They're probably tied for last. I think KC is 3-4, and Denver is as well. How about those Bears, though?
Oh, yeah.
Should I get you started?
No, please don't.
4th down carry for the Lions. It's going to end up no gain. They don't mind giving it back to Anderson. With just 1:33 left to play. Getting closer to find out who our player of the game is. And closer to zeros on the scoreboard with the Lions winning on their home turf. The Mount will move to 5-3 overall, 4-1 in conference play. It'll be 0-8 for Coach Steve Rock and the Anderson Ravens, and now 0-5 in the conference. New quarterback in as well for Anderson. A juggling pass caught by Brown. As the new QB in for Anderson, be number 14, that's Colby Richardson.
Almost to a minute left here.
Really good game for the freshman receiver, Caleb Brown. He's had 6 catches for 76. Has been a nice counterpart with Zach Talent, who finishes the game 9 for 130. Bouncing out a run. Picking up a first down over into Lions territory. This run from Anderson coming from, looks like Dagan Cesary.
Yeah, we heard a lot about Zach Talent coming in, and boy, he proved he is a wonderful ball player. But man, I'm very impressed with Caleb Brown. He really showed up today and proved he's a legit wide receiver in this program.
With 6 catches Brown now has 32 on the year. Here's a deep ball down the field, and it's going to be out of bounds. Late flag comes in, too, from the head referee.
Roughing the passer, maybe?
Definitely in the area. And instead, it's unsportsmanlike. Definitely unnecessary, and with just under a minute left.
Yeah.
Just finish strong, play clean, and get out of here with a win. Ravens with a chance to score here with their new quarterback in.
And getting some good experience here at the end of this football game for him.
Colby Richardson, sophomore from Louisville.
Louisville.
Get a pass. Nice timing with Brown, and Brown will reach the end zone.
Yikes, the defenders ran into each other, and that allowed Brown to stick it in the end zone. And nice drive there for Richardson to put some more points on the board for Anderson, and he's going to be on cloud 9 with his first college touchdown pass.
How about the throw from Richardson, throwing it well before, not only before Brown is looking, but before Brown breaks on his slant pattern.
Well, that's what you have to do on those kind of plays, Jarrett, because they're so quick and they're quick hitters. You have to expect your receiver to be in the spot they're supposed to, according to the play call. When you let it go, they got to go get it.
It's a 23-yard touchdown reception. And going for 2 again is Anderson. They failed to do so on their last touchdown. Richardson extends the play and into double, almost triple coverage. Pass is falling incomplete. He tried to get it to Logan Beard. But that makes it a 35-18 ball game, and the ensuing kickoff will go the Lions. We'll see a couple of knees, maybe just one. And we'll wrap this thing up from Cincinnati.
Again, stick around till we get you got to see who the HCAC player of the game is. I'll give you a hint. He's wearing blue.
That's a good hint.
How about that?
Really,
how about that,
really dumbs down the numbers.
It did. Okay.
Possibilities.
How about this? Plays offense.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay.
How about even or odd?
In terms of
number.
Oh wait, we still got 40 seconds to fill here.
Okay.
More than that. Keith's got to get out there.
We'll have Keith will be down on the field, and we'll be able to give the cookies to Prather. Why did I say Prather? Prather will be down there. He won it in week 1. He's, again, out this week. But glad that we were able to get that to him. And then also have some cookies for this game and this player of the game. Kickoff goes out of bounds. That'll move the ball to the 40. But there's a penalty marker down at, well, the penalty is the kickoff out of bounds. So the ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. It's 40 in the NFL, but 35 in college.
You can stay tuned to IndianaSRN on Twitter and HCAC D3. That's III, the Roman numerals 3, on Twitter for updates on games of the week coming up. Like we said, we'll be at Franklin next week, Rose-Hulman and Franklin. And then the last week of the year, Franklin at Hanover.
Just 2 games left in our Heartland Tour. Week 5 of 7 ends up in a win for the Lions of Mount St. Joseph. They're going to defeat Anderson 35-18. Overall record now of 5-3, 4-1 in that conference. Going to be a real exciting final 2 games of conference play, especially for Mount St. Joseph. We're not going to see them to wrap up this conference schedule, but we will most definitely be keeping our eye on how their games go and what happens with other teams like Rose-Hulman and Hanover. Those three right now at the top of the HCAC.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting here coming down the end because we've got contenders the rest of the way for us in the games of the week of teams that have a shot at the conference title today. Mount St. Joseph. Next weekend we have Rose-Hulman, and then the weekend after that we have Hanover. So stay tuned, stay with us as we take you through to the conference championships. And they were ringing the bell. Our guy Charlie was ringing the bell for Mount St. Joseph after the victory.
Lions team will move towards our right. That's where the coach is. He's awaiting to give away a nice treat to our player of the game.
I hope Prather's out there so he can get his. I know Taylor is, but he can't steal him from Prather.
Yeah, and hope that Taylor and Prather are good to go for these last two games of the season for Mount St. Joseph. But great quarterback play. They had a couple of different guys in there, 5 different quarterbacks. We saw 3 different ones in this final quarter. But Jake Ayler and Joey Newton taking most of the snaps. Those two combined for around 110 yards of rushing total. Ayler is going to finish the game with an astonishing QBR of 301, 9 of 12, 166 yards, and 4 touchdown passes. There's Coach Hop in the middle.
And that would be why he's the IndianaSRN player of the game.
Yes, he is. Jake Ayler is going to get it. A junior. Just gave you his numbers. We had a game, 1 or 2 weeks ago. I believe it was Dion for Rose-Hulman. Andrew Dion had a QBR over 240, 250. I didn't even think that was possible.
I didn't either.
So here's Ayler, who one-ups him. He saw the game last week and says, hold on, wait a minute. And he gets 301 QBR.
That's impressive for a wide receiver for sure. So, you see Coach Hop out there doing his thing, and I can't see Keith, although he's got his hat on, so I can't look for the glare.
He's towards the left. Now he's stepping in. He's got more cookies in his hand. But there's the announcement. Jake Ayler is our player of the game. Congrats to him. An impressive game. Usual wide receiver, but able to step in and play the quarterback position. 9 completions, and 4 of those went to touchdowns. 2 touchdowns for Chandler Kinhalt. He finishes with 79 yards receiving on 4 catches.
Get in the picture. Got to make sure and post that on Twitter. Oh, wait, we probably have to log in for Keith now, won't we?
That's right. There's Keith. Coach got the snap. And now Coach Hopperton. He's going to have one last message for his team. And it's a quick one. He's probably saying, good job, guys. Way to take care of business. Way to, come back after a terrible game last week, a game you should have won, and to come back here and take care of business. And now you're still in position. It's all up to you.
Mm-hmm.
How much do you want it? They're going to need some help, but it could very well come down to the very last week of the regular season against Rose-Hulman.
Well, if they can beat Hanover next week here, then they're in prime position because they have Rose-Hulman, Mount St. Joseph with 1 loss, Rose-Hulman with none. If Mount St. Joseph or if Rose-Hulman takes care of Franklin next week, but like we see, anything can happen. You can take care of that, but it's at Rose-Hulman. That's going to be tough. You're still right there in a chance. You're not quite in the driver's seat, but you're in the passenger seat trying to kick them out.
Couple of final notes to leave you with some impressive numbers that really stick out. Rushing yards between the two teams, the Mount 232, Anderson just 12. And passing the football, that's what Anderson had to rely on a lot. 283 yards of their offense. 283 of the 295 was passing, and 172 for Mount St. Joseph. So the run game was there for the Lions, and that helps them get the victory here today. in this week's edition of the Heartland Game of the Week on HCAC.TV and IndianaSRN. Let's close things up from Cincinnati. Want to give a special shout-out to our cameraman, Justin Griffiths. A tremendous job yet again this afternoon. Plenty of great shots. For our producer, Nick Lewis. Our man on the sidelines, the coach, Keith Myers. And for my broadcast partner, Sean Kroll, I'm Jarrett Lewis saying so long for now. We will see you next week. It'll be the 6th week of the Heartland Game of the Week with Franklin and Rolls-Holman. Should be a good one on IndianaSRN at HCAC.TV. So long, everybody.